All right, so we're good. Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to Women's Football Chat Live. This day of double cell action continues as we now move into Chelsea versus West Ham. We kicked off the proceedings today with Manchester United taking on Liverpool alongside a plethora of other games, a game in which Manchester United emerged 2-0 and victorious. And now we move on to Chelsea as they look to move back to the top of the table and extend their points gap to Arsenal and to Manchester United. Though, of course, United winning earlier does mean they are momentarily top of the league. Harry, should be a very interesting one today. West Ham statistically the worst team in the league this season. Chelsea one of the strongest. So is it a slam dunk for Chelsea or could West Ham provide an upset?
It's never a slam dunk in football, but all the stats and odds are pointing in one direction. It has been a very, very difficult start to the season for West Ham, for Ryan Skinner. They have really struggled in every game. They've been, they were trounced by Arsenal. They really, really struggled against Tottenham. They lost to a Tottenham side that were really poor in Matchweek 1, and things just are not clicking. And it's the kind of season where when it looks this bad, and then you play Chelsea, and then suddenly the results start to stack up and the season get worse. So it's important today that even if West Ham don't take any points from this football match, that they go out there, they put in a good performance, they play well, and they try and give us Chelsea a very, very good fight. Obviously, Chelsea won't want any of that, and I think that there's a lot of fans especially, but a lot of people hoping that Chelsea will go out and deliver a big performance today. It was controlled against Leicester, but it was also, it lacked goals. It lacked, the convincing Chelsea manner that we usually see. So although it was controlled from start to finish, I think a lot of people want Chelsea to go out and score some goals today against the worst defence in the league. And West Ham have been torrid in their own penalty area. That is something they have got to fix today, because if not, they are going to be banging trouble against one of the, probably the best attack in the league. But they've got to make it difficult for Chelsea, and it won't be easy. There's an expectation to go and deliver, keep pace with Manchester United, make sure that they can maintain that 2-point advantage over them if they do take the 3 points today. So it won't be it's not over just yet. We haven't even blown the whistle yet, but it's at some point it's one of those where will West Ham get anything from this match? Probably not, but they've got to give it a good go. That's the thing for West Ham. They've got to at least play well today, no matter what the scoreline is.
Yeah, West Ham will be looking to try and plug their leaguey defence, and they may have done that with a 5-back today. So let's get into the lineups. We are at the Chigwell Construction Stadium, my favourite named stadium in the WSL, in Dagenham, Essex, and we'll start with the hosts, West Ham. It looks like a 5-2-3 for West Ham today, with Kingish-Emick returning between the sticks. A back five then of Denton, Nystrom, Tisiak, Zadorsky and Balumu. In the midfield pivot, it's Siren alongside Katrina Gorey, and a front three of Phil Morgan, who scored in the League Cup action in the week, Ueki and Asayi. So a bit of a change for West Ham then. No Shakira Martinez to start this game. It looks like a slightly different shape than what we've seen from West Ham previously. Is that to try and combat Chelsea's attack, do you think?
Yeah, 100%. Their plan will be to put as many players behind the football as possible and hope that Chelsea don't find a way to put the ball into their own net. But I like it from Ryan Skinner. Dropping Shakira Martinez is a big call, but at the end of the day, when she hasn't played well enough, and Fiona Morgan, as you say, scored in the midweek against Charlton, I believe, in what was a better performance from West Ham, you've got to reward form. You've got to reward players who are coming in and doing well. So, I understand that from Skinner's point of view. When if forms have not been good enough, you've got to make changes. And I think that it's a bold one, but what an opportunity for Morgan to come in today to lead the line for West Ham and to hopefully try and turn around their fortunes in front of goal. Now, whether it will work, I think obviously Martinez and Morgan are different personnel, but at the end of the day, they're going to do the same role in the system. We know that West Ham front three is very, very fluid. Morgan is another player who will predominantly lead the line, but can also play out in wide areas. So it will be interesting to see whether, tactically it's going to help West Ham. I think, personnel-wise, Morgan scored. She looks pretty sharp. It could make a difference. But is it tactically going to change anything? Probably not. And then that's where I see this change as maybe being a little bit redundant, because you're not gaining or losing anything from a tactical and system point of view.
It's difficult though, because I'm not sure West Ham's issues have all been tactical this season.
True.
If you look at the Arsenal game, the way they got torn apart was because what they were trying to do is soak up pressure and then send it long. But the problem that was happening was their defensive players were making mistakes which would give away possession and concede goals. And when they sent it forward, so attackers couldn't get a foot on the ball to do anything. And obviously, there is a tactical element to that, why that all went wrong. But I think if just by changing the personnel, that could change things up for West Ham's fortunes. And let's take a look then at the visiting Chelsea side. Despite clamour from fans, it remains a 3-4-2-1 today for the Blues. In goal, Hannah Hampton, a back three of Bjorn, Bright and Fiona Berman. And the wing-back positions, it's Carnereid and Alyssa Thompson with a midfield pivot of Erin Cuthbert and Kira Walsh. Then the slightly high midfielders of Captain and Jean-Francois, though that could be Jean-Francois and Cuthbert the other way round. And leading the line, it's Aggie Beaver-Jones. And let's talk about them, because people are talking about this attacking lineup. Where's the goals going to come from? Talking about this as a 5-back. Obviously, this will be a 3-back in possession. The wing-backs are going to be super high. But how did Chelsea stop what happened last week, where it just felt like they got that early goal against Leicester and then they switched it off? Or is there any problem with them doing that?
It's one of those where I think that you have to take the opposition into account, first and foremost. What Leicester did really well was pin the wing-backs in so it looked more like a 5-back and actually came at Chelsea on the ball. We saw Leicester have quite a lot of possession, relative to sides against Chelsea. They did really well to actually have a lot of the ball, but they didn't do much with it. Whereas we know West Ham today do not want the ball. They are going to sit deep and try and go direct and go long. And I think that a 3-back against that front three isn't going to be a problem. And if West Ham don't retain the ball, those wing-backs will be able to stay high, and suddenly it will look more like a 3-2-4-1, and Thompson and Carnereid are going to be right up the pitch, causing a lot of problems. So it's one of those where I think that Leicester did very, very well to nullify this Chelsea system, but I think that'll be a one-off in terms of I don't see it happening every single week. For me, it's opponent-based. Leicester did a very, very good job. And, of course, West Ham could come out today and the West Ham wing-backs could man-mark the Chelsea wing-backs and they're all going to nullify each other. But I don't see that happening. I think West Ham are going to sit deep. West Ham don't want to be on the ball because when they do get the ball, they just end up passing it to the opposition anyway. So they're better off going direct. They're going to look to try and get that front three in behind. So I think that will aid Chelsea because all they've got to do is win the ball back off the long ball, win that first header, and suddenly there's a lot of space for the wing backs to use.
Well, that's the thing. If Chelsea's wing back operates how they should, then you'll see Carnereid and Thompson in their normal winger positions. You'll see 3 centre backs, which Chelsea defended with last season. The difference was last season the 3 centre backs, Bronze was one of them. But now that rest defence should be stronger to defend transitions, which is where Chelsea were getting caught out last season. I think Chelsea still had a bit of problem with transitions, but they've mainly been from set pieces. But I don't think they've had too much of an issue when it's been that back three. I think they've done quite well. A bigger problem comes with how defensive the midfield looks today. Because in one of the attack midfield positions, you're going to have either Erin Cuthbert or Orion Jean-Francois, and I just don't understand that. I think taking Cuthbert out of the pivot would be criminal, as we saw in the Villa game. Now, obviously, she's still going to be in the midfield, so she can still get involved, but I just think she's going to get drawn to being too deep. And I'd rather see someone like... I mean, if you're going to use Orion Jean-Francois, bench Kira Walsh. I just don't understand the reason to have both of them in the same team, personally. I'd rather see one of them alongside Erin Cuthbert and then bring in a slightly more advanced midfielder, someone, maybe even Amara Alba. Give her first start in a Chelsea shirt, or first appearance, actually, in the WSL at all. You've got Nuskin, who's back from injury today. Obviously, I don't expect her to start, but she should be involved at some point. Hamano could have started. Macario could have started. So I do think the midfield is slightly too defensive, but I don't think it's a bad formation. I think it'd be interesting to see. And that's the thing. Everyone will... I understand from Bompastor's perspective why she believes in this system. If we go out and win 5-0 today, no one complains. And suddenly, the constant slew from people going, oh, why are we playing a 5-back? This is so defensive, so negative. We're not going to win the title. Suddenly, that all stops because Chelsea have won 5-0. So, personally, I think the fact that this system has made us look incredibly defensively solid. Obviously, a clean sheet against Leicester never really looked like conceding. There's a flash of moments in the last 5-10 minutes, but never seriously looked like conceding in that game. City looked much more defensively solid, and Aston Villa second half looked a lot more defensively solid. So I think if it's the price to pay for a Champions League title, I'm happy to watch more negative football for a season.
Yeah, and well, that's the thing to say as well, is that I think that it's a stigma that against 5-backs that is starting to be broken now in modern day football. But playing a 3-back or a 5-back doesn't mean that you just park the bus and sit on your own goal line. 3 and 5 backs can be aggressive. You can still come forwards. I think that's definitely something that is being taken. People are working out now. Usually, you see a 5 back on a team sheet and you go, well, they're just going to sit deep.
But that's the thing. It's not a 5 back, whereas West Ham's will very much be a 5 back. And I think that's also been the interesting thing. As I think what Leicester did really well last week was by also playing three at the back, that made life very difficult for Chelsea. So West Ham could potentially look to do that today, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's get into predictions then. If you're watching along, get involved in the live chat. Let us know your scoreline prediction. We'll start with the poll. 90 votes, 90% going the way of Chelsea, 8% for West Ham, and 2% predicting a draw. Moving to us in the studio, we'll start with yourself, Harry. What is your prediction for today's game?
I think that West Ham will want to put in a better performance, and I think they will. I don't see. I think the individual errors for me will be eradicated in this game, or they have to be, because it can't carry on like it has in the last couple of weeks. Where
I'm going to insert a Mick McCarthy meme at this moment,
but yeah, we'll see what happens. I think they'll be looking a lot more defensively solid. Chelsea will go for it. I'm going to say, I'll say 3-0. It'll be comfortable for Chelsea. It won't be outrageous. West Ham will play better, but Chelsea will still, put a few goals behind this side. I will say Beaver Josie on the score sheet because she's in brilliant form. A goal for Erin Cuthbert, a bit of a belter from the edge of the area that maybe takes a deflection, maybe should be saved, something like that. And then I will say a first Chelsea goal for Alyssa Thompson. 3 goals for Chelsea, a very decent win, and no points to West Ham despite a better performance.
I love as well now that we're seeing the WSL doing the same problem that the Premier League had when Man City started playing their 3-2-4-1. They didn't know how to show that, so they show it as the in possession shape rather than the out possession shape, which is so bizarre. But yeah, we saw Chelsea with a 3-3-4, which is one hell of a starting formation. But yeah, it should be interesting today. For my prediction, I'm going to say 4-0 Chelsea. I think it'll be comfortable. I think West Ham have been so poor in front of defending this season, and so poor progressing the ball, and so poor in front of goal, that I just don't see them hurting Chelsea in any way today. I think there's so many problems at the moment at West Ham, and so many individual errors. Jemic back is a huge upgrade, because Megan Walsh in that Arsenal game, I don't like to bash players too aggressively, but she was awful. Is the only way to describe that, and now that obviously they've got Jemic back, that should help them, but I still don't think it's going to eradicate the defensive errors.
Exactly that. Jemic was back in for Brighton and they looked equally horrendous. I mean, they gave Brighton 2 goals by just passing it to them in their own third. So I do think that it's important today for West Ham to cut out the individual errors and just, they've got quality players. I look at that back line and we know that they aren't bad players. Shemek is a good goalkeeper. Tisiak is a decent defender. Zadorsky, Nystrom. These are all competent, quality players. They can play at this level. It's just the individual errors when they've been put under pressure have been, they've mostly been bizarre. Like you watch them try and play out, and it's a complete mess. So what they just need to be better. Cut out the individual mistakes, and they'll make Chelsea work for this today. That's what they've got to do. Is not hand it to Chelsea on a plate and give the Blues a good game.
Yeah, we saw a touching tribute in the Liverpool Man United game to Matt Beers. The first time Liverpool fans had a chance to pay their respects to the legend that we sadly lost last weekend. Another moments of applause here ahead of this game, which is lovely to see. And some of the predictions coming into this game then: Oliver going 3-0 Chelsea, David saying 4-0 Chelsea, Alyssa 3-0 Chelsea, 4-0 Chelsea from HB, so a similar line of thinking there. F said goes 1-1, Real Chaos says it'll be a draw. RD going 3-0 or 4-1. Phil's going West Ham 2-1 with a late Katrina Gorey pile driver. Then I'll wake up, stop dreaming, and go on about my day. Fair enough, Phil. But yeah, should be an interesting game. A range of predictions there, but most expecting a more comfortable Chelsea win than what we've seen in recent weeks. So it should be a good one.
Yeah, I think, as I said, I think we'll see better from both sides today, and it will make for a good game. I think that Chelsea will step it up and look stronger and look more dangerous, but I also expect West Ham to look much better because, to be completely honest and to be a little bit harsh, it can't be much worse today. So hopefully for West Ham's sake, they will put on a better performance today and at least take the game to Chelsea and as I said, make them work for it. If you can carve a pitch and say, I tell you what, the opposition were just better today and they won the game, that's fair enough. But if you carve the pitch and go, well, we were awful and we handed it to them, that's much worse. So West Ham today have got to make Chelsea push for the victory and make Chelsea earn it.
Yeah, indeed. And it will be West Ham to get us underway as Balumu from the middle, waiting for the referee's whistle. And it looks like West Ham are going to take a rugby kick-off. And it's launched long out to Chelsea's left-hand side. That's out for a throw-in. That's 2 games now we've watched live on stream. And 2 games where they've started with a rugby kick-off.
Rubbish is what it is.
Normally I don't agree with your takes, but yes. Ball sent forwards there from Melissa Thompson and West Ham back in possession. Then they're going to play West Ham at their own game. This is going to be a fun 90 minutes if this is all these two are going to do.
Kick out and give the opposition throws. But yeah, I think it's important that West Ham settle down. As I said, get the simple stuff right. Don't just keep, pass it to another player in claret and blue. Don't make any silly challenges in the early stages. Just get a foot on the ball and get into the game.
Yeah, indeed. Here is Amber Tisiak carrying the ball forwards now, looking for Inez Balumu on this left-hand side. That's already behind the player, and that's just going to put them under more pressure. Nystrom, though, sending it forwards. And that will bounce through to Millie Bright under no pressure.
That's exactly what I mean. They've got a foot on the ball, and then the pass to Balumu has gone 10 yards behind her, and that's already put them on the back foot. It's things like that. Just need to get that right, because if you keep doing that all night, you're going to be in for a very long afternoon.
Yeah, indeed. Here is Cuthbert back now to Bjorn. And now it's with Hannah Hampton. Knocks it into Jean-Francois, and that's back to Hampton. A little bit risky. Hampton with a safe ball out to the left-hand side. Don't know why she went to Jean-Francois there, not to Millie Bright. Played a little bit of a risky pass inside. And then Jean-Francois went even riskier.
Yeah.
But Chelsea get away with it. It's now back in possession, though, of West Ham. Possession exchanging hands quite frequently in the early stages here. Now it's with the West Ham right-hand side. Denton keeps it in touch. That's one out of the pitch here by Chelsea. A chance for Beaver Jones bearing in on goal. That's a great block there from Shalina Zadorsky. Recovered well. And I think there's an offside flag, potentially. It's the only way to explain that, and I'm not sure how on earth the lino has come to that decision. But there we go.
I mean, yeah, I'd like to see a...
I don't know why we didn't get a good replay, but
No.
I'm not sure how that could possibly be offside.
Yeah, really good block from Zadorsky. Massive let-off. But, I mean, I speak about individual errors. You can't be robbed of possession in your own third like that.
And now West Ham going direct. Katrina Gorey puts into a good area. Vivian Asai, and she hits it askew. And it's miles wide of the target, but that was a decent chance for West Ham. They broke quickly and could have hurt Chelsea there.
She's rightfully frustrated because this is a really good chance. For me, she has to do better with that.
Yeah.
Has to do better with it. Just leans in too late and ends up skewing it off. Has to make better contact with that football.
But that ball goes through Chelsea's backline too easily. Chelsea just didn't reset after, well, probably a great chance for Beaver Jones and then what they thought should have been a corner.
Lively start, though. Kind of keeping up the theme of today, which is energetic first halves.
Hope it's not as abysmal as all of the second halves were in the 12 o'clock kickoffs. Here is Berman. Ball lifted in behind for Beaver Jones to give chase to, but that will run through to Kinga Zemek. And she'll pick it up and now look to play out to the left-hand side. And goes to the right. And here's Nystrom. Into Anouk Denton. Loses out to Captine again there, but Captine can't keep hold of it. Denton does well. And now Nystrom launching it forwards. One back half of the pitch here again by Chelsea. Well, shots to go backwards though. Now she's under pressure from Fionn Morgan. It's all out to the right-hand side. And that was impossible, really, for Berman to keep in touch.
Yeah, again, it's early stages. Chelsea just need to settle down. A little bit of an early scare there.
Yeah.
I don't think both sides will mind too much about just letting this game build up, coming to a flow. Again, West Ham get away with it. Captain nearly robbing Zadorsky in possession there. And again, they're messing around with it in their own final third.
Walsh. Back now to Captine. Now it's back to Berman. Walsh. And Chelsea get caught in possession there. And now Siren back to Nystrom. Here is Zemek. Nystrom on the ball, tries to go down the wing to Denton. Captine presses her well there and wins it back. And now it's to Erin Cuthbert, who can open up from this sort of range. And she forces a really good stop out of King Zemic. And they're proving her worth there, Zemic. Coming back into the West Ham side. And that's a really strong stop to deny Cuthbert, who struck that with venom.
Yeah, Cuthbert really got hold of that one. Zemic does well to just, understand she isn't going to catch it.
Here's Walsh on the edge, and she'll take aim now. And that one not far away either. But it's Chelsea opting for speculative efforts at the moment.
Yeah, just doing well to put Zemic under pressure, but it's going to take some strike to beat her from that distance. West Ham, though, more problems playing out of the back. And it's a theme that we've seen across the WSL this season, where sides at the bottom half are trying to compete. They're trying to play football, and they just haven't got the quality to do so. We spoke, Liverpool earlier, Everton the same, West Ham as well this season. Just trying to play out, but it's just not working.
Yeah. No, I think when you look at the sides that have been successful so far this campaign, I completely agree with you. You look at Tottenham, and they have taken 3 wins from 4 matches by playing much more defensive. There's still elements of possession-based play in there. It's a good chance now for West Ham into Asayi. Not a great effort again, though, from Vivian Asayi. Wasteful in front of goal so far. It's been 2 good chances, 2 fairly poor efforts.
Yeah, again, she's actually got quite a bit of room to work with there. Someone's got to tell her that she can take a touch, because Bjorn isn't tight to her. She has time there to set that in front of her and catch it, a lot sweeter, but just rushes it again. Both sides could have easily found the back of the net by now.
Hampton ball in behind, looking for Beaver Jones. He does well to fight and win it, and Nystrom pulls her down, and that will be an early yellow card. Oh, sorry, it's Shalena Zadorsky. I'm not sure why she can't believe that. She played none of the ball and pulled down Beaver Jones.
Yeah, it's really good from Beaver Jones. She judges the flight of the ball well. Zadorsky misjudges it. Beaver Jones just gets the wrong side of the defender, who opts to bring her down. And to be honest, unless this free kick goes in, that probably was worth the yellow card. Because if not, Beaver Jones would have been running away and probably getting a shot on goal anyway. Obviously, it'll be pointless if she now puts this free kick in the top corner.
Yeah, Beaver Jones, and I think it's Philip Berman over this one. I don't expect Berman to strike it, but you never know. And West Ham setting up their wall. So Aggie, I think, wants to hit this on target. Berman shuffles up to it, but it is then Beaver Jones who takes. It's a great free kick, and it's struck into the top corner. Incredible from Aggie Beaver Jones. And we said, well, as long as it doesn't go in, she probably won't regret it to Dorsey, but it has gone in, and she will regret it. West Ham 0, Chelsea 1. Beaver Jones, the free kick of the highest quality, nestling in the top left corner.
What a strike this is from Beaver Jones. Curls it beautifully up and over the wall. Zemic at full stretch stood no chance. Brilliance from Beaver Jones, who is red hot in red hot form in front of goal. Usually in one-on-ones or close football in the penalty area, but that is some strike. 20-25 yards out, finds the top corner. And what a way for Chelsea to get started in this game.
And while West Ham try their rugby routine once again from the kickoff. But what a goal for Beaver Jones. That's 4 in 4 now for Aggie Beaver Jones. A goal in every game this season. Incredibly consistent output for the youngster, stepping up really as Chelsea's main goal scorer now.
Yeah, that's a brilliant strike. And as you say, just, as that variety of their game has grown, and with that comes consistency, because now Chelsea have got a striker that, I think the last couple of years has excelled in 1 or 2 areas, but similar to what Russo did a couple of years ago, has really developed into a very complete forward.
Is that now 4 different types of goal as well? In the sense that, because a lot of strikers you go, well, they will run in behind and they've scored, but I think every goal's been incredibly different. Cuthbert takes aim, not a great effort though from Cuthbert, but she's got the free kick. She scored a header in the game against Aston Villa. Mm-hmm. She scored a breakaway counter-attack goal in the game against Man City, and she scored a poacher's effort in the game against Leicester.
Exactly that.
So she's just added so much variance to her game as well in terms of her ability to score goals. Chelsea now coming forwards down the right-hand side. Here's Carnereid. Can she create a chance ball into the area? Thompson can't quite connect with it. And now they've got to track back because Ueki's coming forward, wants to take on Millie Bright. Bright struggling to keep up with her. Stands her up though. Ueki now knocks it out to the right-hand side where she's got some support. Katrina Gorey takes aim and it's off the side. Off the side of the post there. Not a bad effort from Gorey, and West Ham counter-attacked well.
Well, Gorey, caught that really nicely. Really good move from Ueki. A great pass across the field to find Gorey, who struck that well, as you're saying. Yeah, it was just the outside the post. Had Hannah Hampton trouble, definitely. Tell you what, that was not far off an equaliser. And again, despite Chelsea scoring, the game is still keeping up that very end-to-end football.
Yeah, and it's now Hannah Hampton playing out from the back. Drills a ball through the middle of the pitch, and that will run straight through to Amber Tisiak. Now Nystrom. Back out to the right-hand side. But that is a poor pass back from Morgan. Nystrom just about keeps that in touch. And loops the ball into the middle of the park. Bjorn with an assertive header. And it's headed straight back by Tisiak, who stepped up into midfield. Now Bjorn back out to the right-hand side. Carnereid and Walsh in a give and go. We couldn't see Carnereid due to the Chigwell Construction Stadium camera. Now Carnereid on this right-hand side looking to cut in and can't quite beat the defender.
Yeah, it was the off-pitch overlapping run from Carnereid.
Well, even the initial pass, we can see just the camera doesn't go low enough. Here's Alyssa Thompson. Wants to take on Anouk Denton. Shifts it inside. Now Walsh. Captain. Back now to Fiona Berman. Now here's Bright. Walsh. Bright again. Tries to play a perfect pass into Thompson. Doesn't quite come off. Jean-Francois down the line. Captain does well there to beat a player. Now has to try and put the ball into the penalty area. Good delivery. Carnery tucks it home. And Chelsea double their advantage. Great work down the left-hand side from Vika Captain. Holds on to the ball well. Plays a fairly innocuous ball into the box. And West Ham are astray. Carnery walks in, finishes it off, and it's West Ham 0. Chelsea 2.
Can't quite believe how open that penalty area was from West Ham again. They had the ball. Chelsea nick it off them. It was a lovely little dink pass down the line into Captain, who can't just... To be honest, this was a bit of an aimless ball across the box. No one gets there for West Ham. Balumu doesn't stick with Carnery.
Zadorsky just lets it go. I mean, two centre-halves have been dragged out to deal with Captain. And then Zadorsky, I mean, we're not going to see the replay, brilliant. But Zadorsky lets it go and no one else reacts. And Carnery pretty much walks into the 6-yard box and finishes it off.
Yeah, it's the basics of defending from West Ham. Zadorsky misses it, lets it go. Balumu's caught flat-footed, and Carnery just runs into the middle of the penalty area unopposed and knocks it past a Zemic that can't do anything about that.
And a fast starts this game for Chelsea. Now they're looking to link up down the left-hand side. Jean-Francois bundled down in there. Unfortunately, the referee must have been distracted by something else because he's not noticed it. And now West Ham come away with the ball. Zadorsky. Nice pass into the channel and manages to find Asayi, who now wants to take on Carnery. Carnery forcing her back, though. Here is Shalena Zadorsky. And now it's out to Nystrom. So it's definitely more of a 3-5-2 today, which I think is preparing for Sam Kerr to be back to full fitness, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
This is not built for Captain to be a second striker.
But it's working, which I don't know whether that says more about Vika Captain or says more about West Ham.
Well, I think Captain can definitely do that role. Because when they actually attack, the wingers come forwards and Cuthbert pushes up and it becomes more of a 3-2-4-1 type shape. So Captain's not really like an out-and-out striker. I mean, even in press, Beaver James presses as a single player and Cuthbert pushes up in the press. So it's only really when they are in their defensive position that they drop into more of a 3-5-2 or 5-3-2.
Oh, dear.
And there's a loose ball in there and Cuthbert picks up on it and she might go for goal here. She will go for goal and she'll find the back of the net. Struck sweetly and Chelsea in dreamland. West Ham 0, Chelsea 3, and this is starting to get really silly for West Ham. Cuthbert picks up a loose ball in the middle of the park, walks towards goal, and fires home emphatically. Chelsea have started strong, but it would be remiss of me to not mention how poor West Ham have been to start here. Ueki Shouldered off too easily. It's a poor pass back then into the midfield. Cup picks up. No one puts any pressure on her, and she just laces it home. Unbelievable. West Ham 0, Chelsea 3.
Do not get me wrong. It is a good strike from Cuthbert, but it's a good strike because she has so much time to work out where she wants to smash it past Shemik. I've never seen anything like it. Chelsea have been brilliant, but they are capitalising on a embarrassing West Ham side.
I'm lost for words at what I'm watching from West Ham.
I've never seen a football team like it.
The ball's in behind. Abiba Jones brings it down, and they're looking for more here. Chelsea, they want to be ruthless today. Ball out to the right-hand side. Here's Carnereid. Give more licence to attack today. Takes aim, looking for the far corner, and it whistles past the far post. And the system for Chelsea's starting to work at last.
This is criminal. How are these 11 players in Claret and Blue being paid to play this football match at the moment?
Yeah.
Because it's so easy for Chelsea. And as you say, Chelsea are firing well. They're playing well. It's linking up nicely. And the wing-backs are getting very, very high. And that is it's just causing West Ham too many problems. They cannot deal with what is almost a front four, front five for Chelsea.
I think this might be the first team in history that I think should refund their home fans.
Yeah.
Ball lifted in behind, and Millie Bright tries to deal with it. That's a little bit loose. Asai tries to get there. Bjorn, though, wins it back well. Here's Carnereid. Now Bjorn. I like how a lot of the critics, who've been very vocal before kick-off today, very vocal last week against Leicester, have stopped commenting in the live chat now that Chelsea are 3-0 up. That's how it works.
Such a weird one, because let's not forget, West Ham in the first 10 minutes hit the post. Asai had 2 good opportunities, but I've just never seen a side that are so open defensively.
Yeah, I know.
Because to be honest, let's be honest. Going forwards, they've caused Chelsea problems. As I said, Gorey hit the post. Asai's had 2 good opportunities that she should have done better with. But as soon as Chelsea crossed that halfway line, West Ham just give it to them.
But it's happened all season. Brighton opened up way too easily. Yeah. Arsenal, I mean, that was abysmal from West Ham in that game. They didn't look interested. They're going to go down without a fight at this rate.
But they still scored in all those games. The only game they haven't scored in is the Tottenham game, which they looked more defensively solid in.
Yeah, but that's Tottenham.
True. But why have they taken everything out against Tottenham and just gone, well, we need to be better going forward? So,
I think that's more that Tottenham at the moment what they intend to do is they look to press aggressively and then capitalise on teams trying to build out from the back and make mistakes. But West Ham weren't building out from the back. I don't know what's happening now.
I mean, how do you concede 9 shots in 17, 18 minutes? That's a shot every 2 minutes. At this rate, Chelsea will have 45 shots.
Doesn't feel unrealistic at this moment.
That is absurd. As a football team, how you can allow shots on your goal at that kind of rate.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous volume. Obviously, it's unsustainable.
Well,
only because you'd expect, even if you think West Ham will keep playing as badly, Chelsea will probably take their foot off the gas.
Yeah.
And won't just keep shooting constantly because they think it's going to go in. There's a loss of Alyssa Thompson fighting away for possession. Berman gets caught a little bit high though as Morgan tries to take her on.
From a serious point of view, I can see where the problems are coming from West Ham. What's happened in this game is, in the first couple of matches, their box defending has been horrific.
And now Carnereid's released down the right-hand side, and Baluma will try and stand her up. A pass shifted inside to Beaver Jones, who wriggles through. Now back to Carnereid. Here's Cuthbert on the edge. Chelsea trying to pin West Ham in here. Can they create a chance to score? Here's Erin Cuthbert out down to the left-hand side. Viola Berman to Thompson. Back to Berman, who makes the overlapping run. Beats a player. Ball into the box, and it's headed away by Tisiak. And did that go out for a corner? It did indeed, much to King Ajemic's frustration.
Yeah, I think she's a bit unlucky with that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, now the problem West Ham have got is because Chelsea have got such a licence to come forward, they're now throwing all sorts up. Like, Verla Berman is overlapping the wing back, and that's how aggressive Chelsea are going for it now.
Chris Wilder walked so Bompastor could run. That's the the first time I remember seeing overlapping centre backs.
Who's it? Chris Basham?
Yeah, Baldock as well.
George Baldock.
Cuthbert into a good area. Ueki, though, making contact with it and heads it away. And it'll be Carnereid who picks up the loose scraps, lays it into Jean-Francois. Can she make something happen here? Tidy footwork from Jean-Francois. Blocked though by Ueki. And they'll try and break away now with Una Siren. But that's strong defending from Carnareid. Really adapting to that new right wing back role. Here is Gory. Now to the right hand side. Back to Tisiak. And now here's King Ajemic, and Beaver Jones will put her under pressure. And Katrina Gory here trying to get the ball out of their own penalty area. Nystrom, and that is cleared away. One back out of the pitch by Berman. Thompson through the lines to Beaver Jones. Wants to spin in there. Captain does well. Now here's Carnareid. Here's Jean-Francois. Berman. Jean-Francois. Tidy footwork. Now Walsh. And here's Berman. Thompson. Fiona Berman. Walsh again. And Millie Bright will look to knock it out to the right-hand side. Great control in there from Carnareid. Here's Cuthbert, back to Carnareid. This is nice football again from Chelsea. Bjorn wanted to hit that into the channel, but West Ham were alert to the movement, and that's a poor pass from Carnareid on a weak foot, conceding possession, knocking out for a throw, conceding possession.
As I started earlier, the problem for West Ham is that in the first couple of games, their box defending has not been good enough. So what Rayan Skinner and West Ham have tried to do in this game is drop off. So they think, right, we've been bad at defending our penalty area, so what we'll do is when we lose the ball, we'll just drop off by a couple of yards. But the problem with that is what they've done is they've dropped off a couple of yards off Chelsea, who have got the players and got the quality to hit it from range and just score. And that's exactly how Cuthbert scored.
But even if you just step up and put pressure on those players on the edge of the box, you prevent that somewhat.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is that because they've been so bad at defending their own penalty area, the instruction has been to drop off. And now they've just put themselves in a situation where they're down to they do, they're down to they don't. If they drop off, Chelsea will just score goals. But if they don't drop off, their box is going to be left as open as it has been in the last couple of games. We saw that with the second goal. I mean, they're now in a weird state of limbo where they're really... She pulled her hair there. And Baloomi's got away with one there.
Unbelievable. And then the ref does give it eventually. And Thompson's calling for a card. You've got to be careful doing that. That will get penalised in the WSL. Well, it should be getting penalised in the WSL. I've seen players...
There's a conversation to be had here because...
I mean, it is a red, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's pulling hair. Yeah, the red's out.
The red's out. Katrina Gory's gone.
Well, it was Baloomi, wasn't it? Yeah, Baloomi's been sent off.
Yes, a red card. You can't do that. And there we go. Here it goes from bad to worse. West Ham United. Ines Baloomu is gone for a hair pull on Alyssa Thompson. In the men's game, I understand it somewhat because you're not used to dealing with players with extremely long hair. You've got short hair yourself, so you might accidentally pull when actually all you're trying to do is be a bit aggressive. When you're in the women's game and there are a lot of players with longer hair and you yourself have longer hair, that is incredibly stupid from Ines Baloomu.
Yeah, she was grappling at Thompson. She had a hold of her shirt, and then just as she got away, just yanks at her hair. You can't do that. And overall, it will look soft, but it's violent conduct at the end of the day.
Yeah, just because you shouldn't be penalised if you have long hair.
No.
If I grabbed you by the hair...
That would hurt. And that's the other thing.
There's no punishment for me, though.
That's the other thing. It is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't look it. But yeah, that is an absolute mess. That is an absolute mess from Baloomu. What a silly, silly thing to do. You're already 3-0 down inside 20 minutes. And yeah, wow. I mean, a big decision for the referee, Callum Jones, on his WSL debut.
Yeah.
I think that's why he hesitated at first, because he didn't give it initially, and then he gave it after a while. Maybe Emily Heaslip was the fourth official, got in his ear. Does what she does best. But
well, you'd think if he's missed it, the liner may well have communicated it. Obviously, they're all in communication throughout the game, so... Yeah, that may have been communicated.
It was obvious
that he's missed that.
At the end of the day. And what a daft thing to do. Because, I mean, West Ham, they've been terrible. And now they've got a player less. So and that's the thing, they can't now get better. Because they can't change stuff. They can't change something to make them look more defensively solid.
A lot of people were saying, well, it's stupid rule because she went to grab the shirt. that's still a foul. And so I struggle to feel so like if she's accidentally grabbed the hair, that's fine, but it's not as harsh. But still, she's still committing the foul and accidentally grabs the hair. She shouldn't be pulling at anything.
Yeah, it's the best way to put it is that if you accidentally handball it in the penalty area, it is still a penalty. So at the end of the day, yes, she's accidentally pulled her hair, but she's still pulled her hair. If you go for the ball and accidentally take someone out, you've still taken them out. So as much as she may have not meant it,
but even in those examples, they may it is actually an accident. She's deliberately grabbing the shirt and she's accidentally grabbed the hair. I don't feel any sympathy for Balumi there.
She's tried to commit an offence, and what she's accidentally committed a worse offence than the offence she was trying to commit. But yeah, it doesn't help West Ham at all. And now Chelsea, who are already flying in front of goal, have a player advantage.
No, Thompson flagged offside there. And that is out. And that is a West Ham free kick. Denton. Back now to Nystrom. Ueki tries to flick it on. Berman heads it down. Now it's back with Bjorn. And here's Hannah Hampton.
I'll be honest, I don't think I can think of a worse 25 minutes to the start of a football game by any team. 3-0 down and a player down.
Yeah. Not great, is it?
Just wow.
Tottenham against Man City in last season when Khadija Shaw scored a hat-trick after 9 minutes.
Yes, that was also bad.
I don't think they got a red that early. I don't know if they even got a red at all. But that was a very bad day for Tottenham.
Yeah, it was a red.
As are most days when Tottenham play Man City. Ball out to play for a throw-in now for West Ham, and that's Rika Ueki.
West Ham have got to settle.
Go to Denton.
Chelsea have just got to make sure there aren't any lapses in concentration. Yes, they will take their foot off the gas now, because the chances of West Ham turning this around were slim anyway, and now they're extremely, extremely thin. But Chelsea will now look to conserve, but West Ham have got to use that. Just get, I mean, they've got to stop trying to play out, to be completely honest.
Here's Alyssa Thompson. Beaver Jones, lovely flick on to Vika. Captain, bearing it on goal. A touch of slightly too heavy, though. And that's cleared away by Shalina Zadorsky.
Brilliant defending from the penultimate defender, as you say. Zadorsky was the one who poked it out. Who was it in here? Gory. That is superb. Just nudges Captain forward, which then leads into the heavy touch, which then allows Zadorsky to come in and clear it. Really good defending from Gory, because especially that's in the penalty area. If she gets it wrong, it's a penalty to Chelsea. And that would be terrible. I mean, the last thing West Ham need right now. Someone has been pushed over, though. Chelsea put the corner in.
Tries to make contact with the header, but it'll be stopped because Vivian Asai's down with a head injury.
And yeah, Chelsea are asking the question. Again, I'd like to see this one back. I'm not sure whether Beaver Jones was thrown on the floor, whether she just collided. It's very hard with those ones. Because obviously it does. When you have so many bodies in the box and someone falls over, it's difficult. Beaver Jones and Bjorn are saying that her shirt was pulled, which obviously will make a big difference. Hopefully we get a replay. I'm not trying to compound West Ham's misery. It's not been given. It hasn't been given at the end of the day. But yeah, a crazy start really in Dagenham. What more do you expect? Here we go then. Let's have a look. Oh, that tells us nothing. It
wasn't enough in that. Wasn't enough in that.
I'm not sure where the shirt pull was that Beaver Jones seems to be claiming.
Yes, that came beforehand.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand what Ines Balloon was just doing there.
Yeah, is she going? I don't know.
She doesn't let go for so long there. I just can't feel any sympathy.
I don't necessarily think she is going for the shirt, or even if she is, she gets the hair, and as you say, she could just let go, and that would be fine.
Even if you think she's gone for the shirt, you're still a red card offence because it's a dangerous thing to do.
Yeah.
There you go.
West Ham drop ball then. Not sure how this makes sense either. The game was stopped for a head injury to Asai. Chelsea still had the ball though, but West Ham will be the ones to get it. And a bit of a reprieve now. Big 15 minutes for West Ham. They need to get into half time without conceding again. Without any more defensive mishaps.
So Jemic now playing out. Run back and it will get launched forwards. So settled into what is a bit more of a 3-4-2, I think. Now. Denton's gone to left wing back. And trying to work out where anyone is, but it is now Chelsea coming forwards as Thompson gets away from Katrina Gorey. Looking to make something happen now. Knocks it across to Carnegie, who can take aim, but it's straight down the throat of King Jemic, who holds on to it well.
Really good football from Alyssa Thompson. Great drive.
He tries to win it back, but Sayi now breaking away down the right-hand side. Has Ueki ahead of her if she can pick her out with the pass. Does so. Ueki tries to get around Millie Bright. That's a clear foul. She'll be lucky to avoid going in the book here.
Yeah, really sharp from Ueki.
Become too often now with Millie Bright where she gets caught out by a player who's just quicker than herself.
Yeah.
And commits a foul because that's the only thing she can do. And now she's on a yellow card for an hour. That's really clumsy.
Yeah, really sharp from Ueki. Takes the ball on the turn. Flicks it forwards. Looks to go around Bright. And Bright just brings her down. But better from West Ham. All because they just got the ball direct to Asai, allowed her to run with it. She slots it into Ueki and they win a free kick. So what they've got to do now, stop trying to play it out and just look to that crossfield pass into Asai on the right-hand side, who can then bring Morgan, can then bring Ueki into the game. I don't think Fiona Morgan's touched the ball, to be honest.
She's not really been involved. She started through the middle, which I thought was an odd choice, with then Asai and Ueki flanking her. And she did get a few touches of the ball then, but obviously now they've dropped her to wing back. So it's going to be more difficult for her to get involved. Asai lays it in there nicely, but it's a strong header away from Ellen Cuthbert, who just gets in front of it, heads out well.
Yeah, again, did well there because Ueki made that difficult. But Cuthbert makes good contact with it, puts it out for a throw.
Well, Fiona Morgan with a throw. It's going to be a routine, no. Just a short throw into Ueki and Berman. The player in front of it knocks it out for a corner.
And again, this is what's really difficult with West Ham, because when they get the ball into the far third, they look like a competent football team. It looks good. Ueki, Asai, Gorey gets forward, Morgan in there as well. They link up. The football looks good. But it's just as soon as any team cross the halfway line, it's like watching two different football teams. Can they get a goal? Starting to work with.
Asai, ball in towards the penalty area. Zadorsky puts it in there. It's cleared away by Cuthbert. And that's sent long. Here's Captain. And Ueki jumps in front of that, stopping Millie Bright. She gets it clear. Just ignored the call seemingly there of Hannah Hampson. Here's Cuthbert under pressure from Zadorsky. He's tracked her a long way. And now it's Walsh. And Chelsea have brought West Ham onto them well. If they can now play into the space behind them. Here is Kira Walsh. Into Beaver Jones. Holds it up well. Back to Walsh. Now Cuthbert. Now it's with Millie Bright. Jean-Francois tries to hold it up in there but can't. Now it's back to goalkeeper King Jemic. Now in under pressure, Fiona Morgan in this right wing back position. Now Cuthbert takes aim from range. That looked like, well, it did look like it struck the body there of Tisiak. I thought that'd be a bit more of a complaint, but there wasn't. Ball into the box. Head away well by Zadorsky. Now it's Berman. And, well, Jean-Francois are able to get there.
Yeah, good stuff from Chelsea. Just moving the ball, making things difficult for West Ham, who have looked better and have sat deeper and look more solid since they went down to 10 players, which can happen in football sometimes. We've seen it happen. Sometimes teams do play better with 10 players just because they're forced to drop deeper and defend. And again, they look, as I said, they look more solid in doing so. But Chelsea are just working at it, chipping away. I mean, they're in a comfortable position. Usually, this is the point in the match where we'd be saying you get one more and just put the game to head full half time. The game is very much in bed. Chelsea have just got to make sure nothing clumsy happens.
Well, ball out to the left hand side, and Denton trying to put pressure here on Natalie Bjorn. Bjorn does well though. And now Hampton will send that direct. It's a great ball long. And Beaver Jones will put pressure on Tisiak here, who touches it back to Zemic.
Oh,
And she's happy to take on Beaver Jones. And then shifts the pass to Tisiak. Ball down the line from Zadorsky. Well, that's slightly over the line. From Natalie Bjorn. Just trying to hold up the player in there, but ends up bringing her down. And the referee informing her she's now committed 2 fouls, and the next one will be a yellow.
I think that's probably a bit fortunate, to be completely honest, based on how the rest of the game has gone. Yeah. You know, Bright was booked for her first. To be honest, I think
that was particularly
that
poor.
Yeah, and it was hard to pitch, but I think Bjorn might have got away with one there. It's
Zadorsky now, Ueki.
Phil's still around with his 2-1 Katrina Gorey winner prediction.
Well, chip forwards now run right through to Hannah Hampton. Here is Millie Bright. Fiona Verman holds on to it well. Captain. Jean-Francois now back to Fiona Verman. Now Millie Bright. Now to Natalie Bjorn, who knocks it wide into Erin Cuthbert. Walsh. Cuthbert. Great pass through the lines into Jean-Francois. He will carry it to the right-hand side. Carnreed goes central to give her the space. Now Walsh. Here's Cuthbert. Cross now to Millie Bright. And it's Fiona Berman, who wants to swing the ball in. Lays it off to Alyssa Thompson, who can cut inside. Now Thompson takes aim. Not too bad. Flashes across the face of goal. Wide of the mark, though.
Tell you what, Alyssa Thompson has really been troubling West Ham on that left-hand side. Cutting in on that right foot. Tell you what, didn't quite wrap her foot around it, but not a bad effort. And Chelsea still pushing for more.
Let's ask, what are your guys' opinions about the feud between Nuskin and Sonia? Social media seems to want Sonia sacked for it. Stupid. She's had fitness concerns for the start of this season, so she hasn't played. And people are acting like Sonia's trapped her in her basement and won't let her out. I just don't get it.
That's the thing with it, is I think that the feud has potentially been more just created by fans than what actually exists.
There's no problem there. I know Nuskin's complained last season about game time, but that's because she wants to play every game, and there's a lot of competition for minutes at Chelsea. And I wouldn't be surprised if she did want to leave to a club where she's going to start week in, week out. But that doesn't mean that Sonia Bompastor hates her. Doesn't mean she's locked her up in a cupboard and won't let her go to Hogwarts. She's just not she's not started yet this season because she's not been fit. And then last season she wanted to rotate in a lot of different games. I think that's fine. I also don't think she's the preferred profile for certain positions by Bompastor. But I think if you look at the setup today, she'd do very well in that Jean-Francois position.
Yeah.
When you consider the number of players that all want to play that same role in the team, it's very difficult for those minutes to be shared around evenly. So, yeah, I don't think there's anything there.
No, I think, players not being happy about playing time is very much a factor in the modern day when you've got these big squads for all these competitions.
Ueki takes aim, and that's blocked well. And now here comes Erin Cuthbert bursting away with the ball. The thing is, Nuskin knows if she went somewhere like Wolfsburg, for example, she would probably start most weeks.
Yeah.
The irony is, if she's going to go anywhere, it's probably be Bayern or somewhere like that, where she's not going to start every week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't... She's been injured at the start of the season. That's why she's not played. It's nothing nefarious. She will play when she's fit. She's amongst the substitutes today. We could very much see her. But yeah, Chelsea now struggling a bit more to break down West Ham. They're just sat very deep, very narrow, making life difficult. They're being very compact. Just as you get on the ball, really.
I think in some ways the red card has actually helped West Ham.
They stopped trying to play football.
Yeah, they've stopped trying to take the game to Chelsea when they don't when they just don't have the resources to.
It's a shame because what we should have done is let them keep all of their 11 players and then wait until the 80th minute when Rayan Skinner puts 5 strikers on and then just attack like Arsenal did and get 2 goals then. Cuthbert. That's the problem for West Ham. They've made their scorelines look worse themselves. That's the thing. I don't think Skinner's blameless in it. That Arsenal game was not a 5-1 match. And there's a foul on the edge of the box there from Tissiak on Beaver Jones, but it runs through the captain. He takes aim, and that's blocked wide. Good use of the advantage there by the referee. But now the game will be stopped with Tissiak and Beaver Jones both down holding their heads. And then there will be a Chelsea corner.
Yeah,
So Tissiak's gone in hard on Aggie, and then I think Aggie's flailing arm has caught Tissiak.
Let's have another look, because I didn't get anything from that replay.
Oh, this one's nice and blurry.
Oh, they clashed heads.
Turn into each other, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's too much in that, to be completely honest.
And then Captain comes over the ball and tries to score.
I think
Tissiak, Beaver Jones is turning. Tissiak's coming in. There is a foul on Beaver Jones.
Yeah,
That's why the advantage is played. I think that was good refereeing. Let the game play. Let the game flow.
Send them all off later. No, yeah, I think that, and again, it's like, going back to what you said. I don't think the Arsenal game was a 5-1 game, but same here. Obviously, it's still a long way to go, and Chelsea may have pushed on if they hadn't scored 2, but it was just a kind of like a run of goals that all came in the space of 10, 15 minutes, but apart from that, they've done all right. But they haven't conceded, which is the main thing. So that's important for West Ham, but it's also something they've got to look at, because you can't just be good for 50, 60 minutes but get absolutely smashed for half an hour. You can't have these 10, 15-minute periods where you just concede numerous goals in one go.
Well, they've shipped 3 and then had the red card, and so 2 things have happened that have made them look better since then. Is that they're now more compact and defensive, and that Chelsea have taken their foot off the gas a little, because there's no incentive for Chelsea to go hell for leather. They'd rather keep the clean sheet intact and not have to exert extra energy. Obviously, they're still coming forwards. If they can score more goals, they'd love to. But they're in a very comfortable position. A 3-0 win's a very good result. Ball into the penalty area, hung towards the back post. Bright heads it down. And now West Ham looking to counter-attack, and Bright, in her attempts to try and regain possession, has committed a foul. She's got to be careful.
Yeah, especially, I was just waiting to see what happened there, especially because then obviously she took the shot after the whistle had gone.
And now here is Denton. Back to Zadorsky, who sends it forward. That's good defending from Millie Bright, who stepped in effectively. Now Gorey. Siren goes back to Gorey, and he's poked a beautiful pass through to Zadorsky there, who can now open up the pitch with the ball in behind, and it's Denton running at Carnareed. Carnareed will try and stand her up, and she forces Denton into running that off the field.
Good football from West Ham. That's what they need to do. Don't mess around with it. Don't try and play cute little passes. It was Gorey to Zadorsky, Zadorsky into Denton, and suddenly they'd gone from their own half into Chelsea's third. And yes, it didn't come off, but that was 2 passes. All it took was 2 passes to get into the Chelsea penalty area. That's what they need to do. Stop trying to play 17 passes in their own penalty area, lose the ball and concede. Get the ball out. Play football. Because if you try and play quick football and you lose it on the halfway line, that is so much better than trying to keep the ball in your own third and losing it on the edge of your box. And I'm really surprised that Rayan Skinner and the West Ham coaching staff haven't realised that yet this season.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many more West Ham performances I can watch and just keep thinking to myself, why do they keep trying to play out? But now they're doing all right, because they've sat in deep, and they will just try and see this through now. Which means then the onus is on Chelsea to break through, but they aren't worried about doing that because they're 3-0 up.
Here's Cuthbert, lovely turn, puts the ball into the box. It's going to drop in there for Vika Kaptein. Now out to Carnareed, who wants to take on Denton, tries to stand her up.
Yeah.
And there's a foul from Carnareed. Good defender there from Monique Denton. Just gets between Carnareed and the ball. And, does well.
It's been good from Carnreed though today. I think the role for Carnreed as that wing back could be very, very promising. Just because I think Carnreed's a right winger. Obviously, there is reliance on her to create chances and an expectation to score goals. And we've seen how she doesn't deliver, and then she gets stuck in a rut, and then it's below par performance after below par performance.
Yeah.
But as a right wing back who gets up, yes, she'll still be in attacking areas, but there's less reliance on her to do the main scoring. She scored today.
But you want to see more creativity, and that's the problem.
Yes,
Her numbers in terms of both goals and assists weren't good enough. She still has that right wing back becoming the right winger. There's still a reliance on her to create chances. So, I see your point, but I also think she's still going to need to provide more than she normally does in a season.
7 minutes.
Yeah, it's been a few stoppages, but that does seem a little excessive. Captain brings the ball down well. Now here is Erin Cuthbert, who knocks it out to Vika Captain as Natalie Bjorn overlapping well. Ball in towards the penalty area, takes a flick off the West Ham defender. No one for Chelsea gambles on that as it flashes across the face of goal. Should have done, which I think someone from Chelsea's got to commit for that. Berman. Cuthbert into Jean-Francois. Nice control. Back to Villa Berman. Cuthbert. Now Bright. Ball into the penalty area. Carnreed now. Holds on to the ball well. Beats the defender. Now looking to burst into the box, but it's good defending from Una Siren. Can't get it away well though. And then it's knocked out of play by Anouk Denton, and Chelsea can keep the pressure on.
Good this from Chelsea. Best thing you can do when you're playing up against a side who are sitting deep but also tiring because of having a player less is just keep that consistent, that constant pressure on.
Bjorn. Walsh. Bjorn sees that out well. Now it's back to Carnreed. Gives it to Anka Beaver-Jones. Good hold up from Beaver-Jones, who switches the play and finds Viola Berman. And now Thompson looks to take on Morgan and beats her well. Ball into the box. Tissiak gets it away. And that's really good from Captain there. Physical up against Morgan. Ball inside. Beaver-Jones. Great touch. Great strike. But it's straight at King Ajemic. Does really well to kick it up and volley it.
Anywhere else at the goal, and that is anywhere else on target, sorry, and that is probably a goal. Really good stuff from Beaver-Jones. Flicks it up well, and Cat caught it nicely. But straight at Shemick, who did well to claim it. And to be honest, hasn't done badly at all. What a
flip down the line. That's fantastic to Carnreed, who dinks it towards that post. Cuthbert can't make great contact with it. And it just bumbles wide.
Probably got to hit that first time. Erin Cuthbert tries to...
just cushion it down and then tuck it in,
Wasn't going to work. Ran out of pitch. But a great ball through to Carnreed. Lovely little dink in.
I think that's the first she's stretching across to get there. Maybe just header.
Maybe.
Diving header towards it.
Overhead kick.
That would have been a bit more difficult to pull off. But yeah.
Start really, freestyling with it.
There's Beaver-Jones. Can't get it under control, but Carnreed nicks it back and now drives it forwards for Chelsea. Carnreed shifts it to Captain, who takes aim off the post for Chelsea. Neither of those players looks comfortable trying to score a goal.
I've never watched two players wish that the other player had the ball more.
Captain wanted Carnreed to shoot. Carnreed wanted to pass it. That's such a weird area to pass it. Captain does well. It almost goes in. It weren't the worst idea, actually, from Carnreed. She just waited too long.
Yeah.
Needed to pass it sooner because she was so wide of the mark.
And Tissiak wasn't. I think it was pass it. Now shoot.
Delivery towards the back post. Morgan will try and see it out. Thompson tries to keep it in but can't. And that's out now for a West Ham goal kick.
What a bizarre one. But West Ham doing better. Which it isn't difficult, as we've said. but it is better. Better is better. Lot of
Thanks, Junior.
A lot of thinking to be done for those West Ham coaches and for Ryan Skinner, who will probably be thinking about her job security right now.
Ball through the lines, bounce around, Berman deals. Nice flick on from Thompson, drops in there for Morgan, headed away again by Berman. Now drops for Cuthbert, who wins it off Sirens, deemed to be a foul in there. Alex is crazy that you don't even miss Myra up front because Aggie stepped up. True. I mean, yeah, Chelsea the only team in the league who could lose Myra Ramirez, and it's not a massive loss.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously she's a very good player, but I mean, to be fair, she hasn't really shown it in the WSL. That's the problem. But yeah, Beaver Jones has been phenomenal this season. Already 4 goals this campaign. I think she's 6 off her tally from last season already.
Wow.
Which is absurd. Yeah, and a goal in every match. And so consistent.
And Sam Kerr is returning. It's slightly worrying.
Yeah, Beaver Jones scored 9 in the WSL last season. It's only 5 off her tally. She's got 13 in all comps.
Wow.
So again, not far off that. Really strong start to this campaign from Aggie.
I think those WSL numbers are interesting. The old comps ones might be shifted a little bit this year because I expect that it will be Beaver Jones who takes the WSL minutes and then a bit more rotation in the Champions League depending on opponent.
Well, the difference as well is that obviously she played every game in the WSL last season, but she played as a right winger.
That is also true.
She didn't start every game. So far, she started all 4 matches and leading the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously with Kerr coming back, those minutes will be shared. I'd actually expect, I don't know what to expect, but I think they'll give Beaver Jones the nod in the Champions League right now. And
in the big games, yeah. I think in the league phase against the pot 3 sides, I'd expect, because I think Beaver Jones will take all the WSL games.
I don't think Chelsea have got the nicest pot 3 matchups. I'm trying to remember who they've got, but I think they've got Paris FC from pot 3. That's a really tough pot 3 game.
Yeah, but then
and 20.
The thing is, it's really, you have to put it in perspective because rotating against those sides, as you say, seems risky. But if you're rotating Sam Kerr for Beaver Jones, then it suddenly doesn't really matter.
It's just like you'd want a really easy game to.
Yeah.
If you've got a Poulton or you've got a Leuven, then it's different. So I think it's slightly easier. That, though, is half-time whistle. West Ham United 0, Chelsea 3. A commanding display from the Blues in that first 45 minutes. An electric start saw them score 3 goals in the first 14 minutes, was it? Or something ridiculous like that. First 15 minutes. And then from there, the game has sort of petered out. We had a controversial red card on 23 minutes. West Ham have become a lot more defensive, and Chelsea have continued to have chances. But at the break, it's West Ham 0, Chelsea 3 goals from Beaver Jones, Conrad and Cuthbert.
15 minutes of absolute madness from a West Ham point of view.
23, really.
23, yes, but I think even the 8 minutes before the first goal, they actually looked pretty dangerous.
Gorey, that works then, because Beaver Jones scored on the 8th, then you got 15 minutes.
Exactly.
To 23.
Gorey hit. Well, yeah, that's why I said it. 15 minutes.
Oh, I haven't actually done the maths there. Yeah. Apologies.
But it was 8 minutes where Asai had 2 good opportunities. Gorey hit the post, but I can't describe what happened in the next 15 minutes. It was absolute carnage at the back. A free kick given away. Okay, let's be honest. The first goal was a brilliant effort from Beaver Jones. Great free kick. Not much that West Ham could have done about that. The following moments after that were a bit more bizarre. The Carnery goal, I have no clue. We'll watch that one back and find out exactly where on earth the West Ham defenders were. The third one, again, Cuthbert was given too much space, and then, as you say, a red card to go alongside it. What a mess for West Ham. Plenty of work to do. And they'll be really disappointed because, as I say, not only have they been really poor in the defensive third, but they've had 5 shots, put none on target, but they've created 0.7 XG. From that, you'd hope to score. They've had some good opportunities and they haven't put a single shot on target. That has got to be a concern. We know they've got good players in the front line. Ueki, Asai, Morgan starting today. They're all good players. They can all score goals. So the fact that they are wasting as many chances as they are has got to be a concern. The problem in the last few games has been they aren't creating any. In this game, in those first 5-10 minutes, they created some good opportunities, but they put them nowhere near the goal. The closest was Katrina Gorey who hit the post, but you can't rely on Katrina Gorey to do absolutely everything for you because as that is showing, that does not work.
It's been quite interesting because other sides of better quality have struggled to create good quality chances against Chelsea. They have a lot of shots, but not great quality chances. West Ham had 3 and did nothing with any of them. They didn't even put it on target. Katrina a little unlucky, struck the post, but Asai had 2 inside the penalty area that she just didn't connect with well at all.
That's a different game. If she scores that and and it's 1-0 West Ham, then it's a completely different match. And I think that will frustrate West Ham, but it doesn't. It is not an excuse for what happened after that. You can't sit here and go, oh well, if we'd scored first, then the game would be different, because they have been abysmal since then. It has got better. As I said, I remember that we at one point it was a shot every 2 minutes. It was 9 shots in 18 minutes. The following, the rest of the half, Chelsea then only went on and had 5 shots. So West Ham did get better defensively as the half went on. But it doesn't matter if you get better as the half goes on if you've already conceded 3 goals. I mean that is just bonkers. To concede 3 goals in 7 minutes of football is just crazy. That shouldn't happen at the top level. Doesn't matter who you're playing, and they've got to sort out the basics, because that's what they're getting wrong. Conceding possession. I mean, the 3rd goal, Rico Ueki just passes it into the middle of the pitch. Yeah. And then when Cuthbert picks it up, everyone runs away from her. And Chelsea have done very, very well, and they've moved the ball brilliantly. They're playing quick, attacking, very difficult football. But I just can't understand it from a West Ham point of view. I've never seen a side get everything wrong defensively. It's not even like we sit here and go, they've defended their box well, but they've been really, really poor on the edge of the area. They've been really vulnerable, from around their own box. And vice versa. They're not sat here going they've been terrible in their own box, but they're defending the rest of their half well. They've just been really poor at everything.
It's so risky. It's so erratic from West Ham.
Yeah.
There's no discipline. There's no structure. There's no organisation. It's just constant chaos at the back, where players just seem to be trying risky balls, not understanding their position 100%. It's just so many weird things they're doing at the moment. It's leaving a lot of gaps. Chelsea doing very well to exploit that. I think, obviously, since West Ham had a player off, they've become a lot more compact, a lot more narrow. Use that as a template now from which to build your system going forwards, because West Ham are not a side of immense quality, but they were really good last season when they could be transitional and break in behind. And they've not done that at all this season. Let's talk on that red card, though. I think it's justified.
Yeah, it's a red card, and Peter will say that maybe Balloon was unlucky because she goes to pull the shirt, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. She didn't pull the shirt. She pulled Alyssa Thompson's hair, and at the end of the day, you're pulling someone's hair is a red card. It's as simple as that. You can't do that in the modern game, and yeah, it's really poor at that point in the game. We have side already up against it, really struggling. Or as we say, in hindsight, West Ham looks stronger since they went down to 10 players, but that doesn't matter. As a player, you shouldn't be pulling anyone's hair. As you say, rightfully sent off, and it's the last thing West Ham needed at that point in the match. They'd already conceded 3 goals and then a red card. And Balumu, it's been a difficult start to life in the WSL. It is always difficult when you come into a side and they aren't necessarily playing very well, but sometimes you can come into a side and look like the best player in what has been a bit of a poor team. But I think Balumu has really struggled and is maybe not. Obviously, I'm not saying I'm not blaming their defensive problems on her in every single game, but I'm looking at what's changed in that West Ham side from last year, and defensively they look much worse. But just across the board.
It's a bit of them trying to play football that they're not good enough to play as well, I think.
I thought getting rid of Camille Sice, they might look really good at the back, but they've got worse, and I never thought I'd say that. But, a defender that scored 4 own goals last year. But, as you say, what's the saying? They're trying to run before they can walk, and they're just falling over themselves, literally. And teams like Chelsea, it doesn't matter whether it's Chelsea or whether it's Tottenham, they'll take advantage of that, and that's exactly what we've seen in these first few weeks. It's not even, yes, they've played Chelsea and Arsenal, but they've also played Tottenham. Yes, they've also played Brighton actually as well, who are it's been a difficult run, but they and again, it goes back to what I said at the start of the show, where no matter what the result today, the performance had to be good. Because you can lose all your first 4 games against good opposition, but still look pretty decent, still show signs of promise. But in this football match, in all of the football games really, it's not even like we can take any positives away. I thought, I mean, they probably should have drawn to Tottenham. I don't know how Tottenham somehow won that football match. No one does. To be fair, no one deserved any points from that game. But since then, it's just been really, really poor from West Ham, and they've got to sort it out, because if this goes on for too much longer, Rayan Skinner won't have a job, and they will very much be in that relegation playoff come April, May time, and that is something that's got to be addressed, because we spoke about at the start of the season how the playoff, although it makes sense for structuring and it had to be done, it may not actually mean anything at the end of the day, because the WSL side should win that football match pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
But to be honest, at this rate, I don't see that happening. If you get a really, really good top quality championship side up against this West Ham defence, it's going to be a very even game.
I think the fascinating nature as well of the relegation playoff is that you're going to take a team in the WSL who are used to playing as the underdog and playing quite defensive football naturally, you'd expect.
Yeah.
Against a team in the Championship who are used to playing really aggressive football. So how does the dynamics of that game work, I think, is what's going to fascinate me most, because are the WSL side suddenly going to become this super possession-based tide and try and dominate? Will the Championship tide try and be more defensive? Or will they both stick to the systems they've used all season?
Yeah.
Or will we see one do one do the other, in which case we're either going to end up with 2 teams defending or 2 teams attacking? Who knows? But it's going to be fascinating to see what happens when we do get to that game some point, well, obviously later in this season.
And it's got to concern West Ham, because right now they are dead on favourites to be in that. And this is what I find really weird as well, is that last season, everyone had put them pretty low in their expectations. I think we both had them to go down, or at least I had them to get relegated last season. And everyone thought they were in for a tough year, and then suddenly they turned up and they were really good. They were solid defensively.
Didn't you have them to go down this year?
No.
Who did you put bottom this year?
I think I can't remember now. I think I might put who knows?
I put Leicester.
I think I also put we both put Leicester, because they have
shut their manager before the start of the season.
And that was really stupid. But yeah, everyone had really
Leicester, London City, West Ham.
Fair enough. Everyone had really, really low expectations of West Ham last season, and they pulled it out the fire. You know, Martinez, Asai, Ueki were firing. They looked defensively capable. This season, everyone walked into it and went, well, look what they did last year. They kept Martinez, brilliant. They kept Asai, even better. They're going to look good. They're going to score goals and be defensively solid. And it's been the complete opposite. They've been absolutely terrible. And even Shakira Martinez has been dropped today. Vivian Asai has missed some really good opportunities in this football match. So it's one of those where I just think that I don't know where they go from here now. I think they're in a really tough spot, because even if they now, I think the right thing to do is go back to being defensive and playing defensive football, where you soak up pressure and try and hit people on the counter. But that doesn't guarantee you results in every match. So I really think West Ham are in a spot of bother, and I mean, for the season, let alone the next 45 minutes, I'm really intrigued. I don't expect this to get too out of hand, just because look what we saw at the end of that first half. West Ham was sitting really deep, and Chelsea just took their foot off the gas. So I'm not concerned about this game getting embarrassingly high, towards 6 or 7. But I just think overall for the rest of the season, they're in a really, really difficult place, and it's going to take a lot for Rayan Skinner to get them out of that. And the worry will be is that the West Ham board may feel that Rayan Skinner isn't the manager to get them out of this kind of situation.
Yeah, she's got to have some tight spots before, so we'll see what happens. I think the manager market right now is a little bit... who would they get? Because I think Villarm's got a new job, hasn't he?
I think so.
Possibly.
But again, that is not...
He's going at Denver Summer, isn't he? No, that's Nick Cushing's at Denver Summer. Villarm's out of a job. So you've got Villarm, you've got Mikel.
I think they need a manager.
There's no defensive manager. There's no classic relegation managers, are there, anymore? So,
because if Villarm comes in and still tries to play possession football, they will get walked all over.
But also, if he plays anything like he did in that last season at Tottenham,
there we were.
So we were. Alex says, "Do you guys think Guro's time at Chelsea comes to an end after this season?" Possibly, very possibly. I just don't see where she fits in this setup. Unfortunately, I think she's just another one who can play that left wing back role. But if she's competing with Thompson and Baltimore and Charles, and obviously Charles can play in the back three, I think it could very much be her time up. I'd be inclined to keep her, but yeah, she hasn't shown the same level that we'd want from Guro really in this and last season.
Yeah, it's one of those with Guro where I think that every season, or at least the last few seasons, I've always sat here and said, this has not been her year, but if Guro gets back to prime Guro, she's an incredible player. The problem is that I'm happy to wait I'm happy to wait a season for that kind of level of Guro to come back, but it's been 2 or 3 years now, and it just gets to the point where you start to wonder, well, is Guro ever going to get back to that level? And to be honest, unless she finds it this season, then I don't think we are going to see that kind of level of Guro back. And then the question comes, is Guro at her current level good enough for Chelsea and what they want to go on and do? There's a debate to be had there, which hurts because I love Guro and I think on her day she is still one of the best players in the world. But when was the last time we can say that Guro was on her day?
Yeah, true. I think as well when you look at the only concern would be because obviously they've got enough left wing backs, but if they went to a left winger formation and Baltimore's playing left back, have they then only got Alyssa Thompson? But Lauren Jones can play there. I think Lola Brown looks an incredible talent. We've got to consider that she'll probably be first team in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
3 years possibly. She hasn't got a whole lot of game time yet at Passage, so I assume that she's picked up a knock or something, or hasn't. But yeah, she hasn't played much in the Championship yet. But yeah, I think she's going to be a top talent, so Chelsea got to consider that. But yeah, so I think this could very much be Wrighton's last season. I love her, but yeah, I think this could be. Obviously, she's up for contract renewal this next summer, so very much there's a very good chance that doesn't get renewed.
True, very true. Have West Ham made any changes? No,
I don't think so.
That stuns me. Maybe it doesn't because they are already down to 10 players and they did look better, but surely you've got to change something.
David says Millie's last season too. Yeah, I'd agree. Probably. I think I love Millie Bright, but she has started to look at a yard off it.
Especially once Germa's back.
That's the thing. If Bjorn, Germa, Buchanan and Bierman are all fit and firing, then you're grand. And the fact that Bronze can play in the back three and Charles can play in the back three should be fine. So, Aggie Beaver Jones from the middle for Chelsea to get us back underway in this game. Waiting for the referee to whistle. Now she knocks it back, and we're back underway here at the Chigwell Construction Stadium. It's West Ham 0, Chelsea 3 as we move into the second 45 as the action continues. Here is Millie Bright on the ball. Berman. The other thing that West Ham got to do is settle quickly in the second half because they found a bit more of a rhythm towards the end of the first half where they were stopping Chelsea more effectively. But if they allow this second half to open up a little bit, they could be in trouble. And Alyssa Thompson here looking to run at Fionn Morgan, who isn't playing a natural position now, but that's done all right at right wing back since she's been forced to play there.
Yeah.
Bright shifts across to Natalie Bjorn. Wanted to go wider, but the pass wasn't on, and West Ham now win back possession. Zadorsky. Asai looking to spin Bjorn, pokes it on to Ueki. Her touch isn't great though. Manages to get it away from Walsh somehow, but then Carla Reid recovering back wins back the ball. Here is Bright. Now, 1-2 with Hampton out to the left-hand side. It's Berman, who plays it in the channel, looking for the run of Beaver Jones, but that's overhit. And that'll roll out of play for a West Ham goal kick.
Yeah, it's important for West Ham just to get going in these next couple of minutes. And not... Because, again, I think that if West Ham can get back into that rhythm that we saw at the end of the first half, then, this game could very much finish 3-0. But it's just whether they can stop Chelsea again for 45 minutes.
Jean-Francois into Thompson. Tidy footwork from Alyssa Thompson. She'll drive inside now, looking dangerous. Here is Cuthbert. Now to Walsh, who lays it onto Jean-Francois. And that's a really good block from Una Siren. And that's out now for a Chelsea corner.
better from Chelsea moving it quickly, and that's when West Ham really struggled to cope. Siren did well there to track the run of Jean-Francois. But again, Chelsea still knocking it around well.
Cuthbert. Ball into the box. It's headed away. Walsh will pick up the scraps and take aim, and it's blocked wide again. And that's another corner for Chelsea.
Good effort from Walsh, to be fair. I thought it was just a little bit too wide to take a shot. But does well to get it on goal. And
Well, yeah, on the turn.
Yeah.
Hooking around the ball, really.
Needed blocking as well. Was on target.
That's Cuthbert over there. It's a very cramped area there to be able to take this corner in, and that is cleared away. And Bright will see that out for a throw. I thought she was going to drop that there to another player. Moves it back to Berman. Now Walsh. Shifts it across to Natalie Bjorn. Now here's Carnereid to Cuthbert, who turns, gets brought down. Advantage played as Jean-Francois takes it on and fires it into the side netting. That was a really nice move. Jean-Francois unable though to provide the finishing touch. She drove that ball forwards well. Cuthbert with a great turn. And Jean-Francois spun Gorey. She couldn't quite finish it off.
Yeah, brilliant example of how to use your body there from Erin Cuthbert. Just lets the ball run, uses her body, wins a free kick. Jean-Francois did well to pick up on it. Just couldn't find the back of the net.
Brilliant stuff from Katrina Gorey to pick up on that pass. Now Denton released down the left-hand side. Bjorn goes to stand her up. Carnereid now in support. And it'll be Carnereid's responsibility now as she moves away from the goal. Zadorsky tries to swing it in there, but it's blocked by Erin Cuthbert. He seems to be a little worse for wear after that one. That's a West Ham throw on the far side. Denton. It's a bit of a foul throw. Hasn't found anyone anyway. And it's through to Hannah Hampton, who shifts it onto Berman. And Chelsea now looking to come down the left-hand side. We feel a Berman carrying it forwards now for the Blues. Sprays it wide to Thompson, who's one-on-one with Morgan, but the surface can't keep up with her. And she slips over. And now Morgan looking to drive it the other way. Plays it inside to Ueki. Siren. Back now to Zadorsky. Flicked on well there by Katrina Gore against the wrong side of Natalie Bjorn. And I think it's been pulled back for a foul there, and Bjorn has been booked.
And that's this is where I find the problem of when referees warn players that their next one's to be a yellow, because that is Bjorn's softest of the 3 fouls that she's committed. Just happens to be that is the third one.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought you'd given it based on that initial touch. It's not foul.
Another Chelsea centre half onto a yellow though. Just got to be careful.
You'd expect changes there. Chelsea have got players on the bench who can play in those positions. Just to shore things up a little. I mean, to be fair, Charles is on the bench today, so I don't know what's happening there. Carpenter could come on though and play there, I guess. It's not a perfect fit.
No. West Ham
Nuskin?
Potentially. West Ham have got to start using opportunities like set pieces much better. I mean, that one, the ball goes in from Asayi and the header is very far off the mark. But when you are up against it, when you are struggling, you've got to take what you can get from opportunities like that.
Here is Berman. There's a 1-2 with Walsh. Now back out to the left-hand side with Jean-Francois. He gives it down the line. Thompson, Captain tries to spin in there. Now Siren under pressure from Jean-Francois. And she turns out, well, that's excellent from Una Siren. Now pass inside to Gorey and Cuthbert across quickly to snuff out any sort of attacking move. Thompson gives away possession though under pressure from Morgan. Bright steps up and intercepts that pass from Ueki. And now she'll go for a drive. Millie Bright, as she takes a few players on. Shifts the ball to Vika Captain. Bright joins the attack. Can Captain create something? The game has been stopped for offside. I'd like to see a replay before I comment, but I'm not sure how. Looked onside to me.
If it is offside, it's really lazy from captain. Because she should get
I'm
back
just not
on.
even sure how she could be offside. She's come from behind the defensive. I just don't understand it. I mean, again, we don't get any good replay, but she looked well onside there. Ueki. Here's Asayi. And that's over the bar.
Yeah, because from what we saw there,
The angle was awful.
it was, and it was. Why is it zoomed in? Because that tells us we couldn't see both players in the frame. Is this?
No, we're going to see a replay of Asayi's shot really zoomed in as well.
That was miles away from going anywhere near the goal. They zoomed in too far. The goal wasn't even in shot when we followed the ball.
It is bright. Now Viola Berman. Jean-Francois. Captain Jean-Francois. And it's Beaver Jones to Thompson. Walsh. Into Jean-Francois now. Back to Walsh. He'll go back to Captain, who's dropped in a little deeper here. And now we'll carry the ball forwards. Lovely lay of the ball through to Beaver Jones. He takes it in her stride. Now turns back round. Jean-Francois tries to do something a little bit fancy. Doesn't quite come off. I mean, West Ham have all turned their players in their own third, but they have managed to win the ball back from Millie Bright. But Chelsea have recovered well.
Yeah, the second half is exactly what we thought was going to happen. It's Chelsea at 70-80% against the West Ham side, who are sitting very, very deep.
Ball forward. Great control in there from Carnery. Now to Cuthbert, back down the line to Carnery, who finds a pocket of space in behind the defensive line. And that's headed away well by Nystrom. And Zadorsky gets it away. Ueki now. Enough against Bjorn, and that's deemed too aggressive again from Nestle Bjorn. Got to be considering changes, surely, in that back three, because Bjorn and Bright at the moment are a stupid tackle away from being suspended for United, and that puts Chelsea in a whole lot of bother. It's a bit of weird camera correction. West Ham, I thought you were on fire there.
Honestly, I think someone raised it in yesterday's stream. How the new and upgraded Sky Sports coverage has just put BBC to shame.
Yeah.
Like how far their coverage is off.
Here is Katrina Gorey. Wants to carry the ball forwards. To be fair, I'm not sure that's gone that way, ref. To be my frustration with the Sky Sports one was when watching the game earlier today, and there was 3 other matches on, and there were so many goals. It was so disruptive how they kept showing a full screen highlight.
I don't get why they want to do that, because if people want to see that, they'll watch multi-view.
Exactly my point. But you wouldn't see that in the men's game. You just see in the bottom corner, you'll get to watch it in a tiny screen, which is all you need. You just want to see a little clip of the goal. Yeah. It doesn't need to take up the screen. I don't need to miss what's happening in the game I'm actually watching because you're showing me Khadija Shaw slot home 2 penalties.
I think it's fine to do it, but do it the way around. Put the current game on the big screen and put the highlight on the little screen.
Yeah. Not half and half it.
No. Chances for West Ham. I just said about how they know Chelsea are readying subs, by the way. But I said about how West Ham need to start using opportunities like free kicks. This is a good chance.
And Vivian Asai takes aim. That's a really good stop from Hampton. And Bright reacts quickest to deny Ueki. And that's the difference between a world-class goalkeeper and not. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, great stroke from Asai. It's central, which helps Hampton out massively, but it's a really good stop.
Yeah.
Didn't quite catch. Well, she caught it well, just didn't quite curl it, wrap her foot around it as much.
That's also the difference between a world-class striker and not.
Yes.
It's the other one. Other way around. Bonus box, that's headed away by Shalana Zadorsky, which was intended to be an attempt at goal.
Hit it away.
That's more of a clearance in my mind.
That's what I mean. It's just so wasteful from those kind of things. When you're playing against the big sides, when you're up against it, you have to use corners, free kicks, long throws. The fact that it's chucking it down Euler and Dagenham. You have to use things that can be a leveller, that can help you get into the game. And they're just not doing that.
Hampton across to Berman. And now Millie Bright looks to play it in behind. That's out of play. Boy, throw in on the far side.
But it did look like Baltimore and Macario were the changes that Chelsea were readying.
Ueki wants to turn. That's tidy. Footwork from Denton, who shifts it to Asai, who's now making that diagonal run. Can she slot the ball in behind to Phil Morgan? She can. Thompson tries to stand her up. Morgan now back to Nystrom. Morgan plays it down the line. Tidy work from Una Siren. Back out to Nystrom. Again pokes it down the line, and that is out of play. But it has taken a nick there off Jean-Francois. That would be a West Ham corner. And again, the BBC second camera needs to have a colour correction before we can see Phil Morgan. A triple change is coming for Chelsea, and it's Sonny Baltimore, Guro Wrighton, and Macario.
Talk about depth. That is
outrageously good. Well, will this be Cat up front or into one of the 10 spots? Will this be Wrighton at left wing back or Baltimore at left wing back, or a shape change? Ball into the box from Asai, and that is headed away. Now Gory. Shifts it to Siren. And now delivered in there by Zadorsky, and that is headed away well. And then Thompson flicking it on. Aviva Jones here will put pressure on Una Siren, who knocks it back. And now slots it back into shape. It's Denton. And Thompson puts pressure on Morgan. Captain wants to take players on. That's out of play though. It comes off Denton. That's out for a Chelsea throw-in. And will that give them the chance to make changes? It will indeed. And that's going to be number 27 off for number 11, which is Guro Wrighton coming on and Orient Jean-Francois coming off. So presumably that moves Wrighton into attacking midfield.
Yep.
And then the double change. Once Jean-Francois has left the field, is Alyssa Thompson making way for Sonny Baltimore at left wing back.
Not bad from Thompson today. Looked pretty sharp. Was, well, not what is one a red card, I think.
Aggie Beaver Jones making way for Cat Macario. That counts as a 60th minute sub, so I get my Beaver Jones 60-minute point.
Yeah, it will. Great strike from Aggie Beaver Jones for the first goal. Just caught it so nicely from the free kick. Up and over the wall, into the top corner. Really good stuff. And now half an hour for Baltimore, for Wrighton, and for Macario to impact this game. I mean, it's the last thing you want to see, isn't it, if you're West Ham? You're down to 10 players. You're 3-0 down to Chelsea after an hour. And you've just seen Baltimore, Macario, and Guro Wrighton all be subbed onto the pitch.
Yeah, indeed. Here is Millie Bright. Now out to Villa Berman, who shifts it on to Sonny Baltimore, who wants to take on Morgan. Something on this left-hand side today. Just supposed to keep slipping. But she has recovered the ball well, Sonny Baltimore.
It's raining a lot.
And Morgan knocks out of play. It's come off Baltimore there, though.
Yeah, the conditions have caught a couple out on this left-hand side. Slipping and sliding around those. Tell you what, credit to Phil Morgan, because we joke about her being more of a TikToker than a footballer. But she scored in midweek.
I think she's a brilliant footballer.
True. That is true. But you know what I mean. But playing right wing back today has done very, very well.
And she's better than shit. I make jokes that West Ham only signed her because she's a TikToker.
True.
I think she's a very decent
content
footballer.
Though. You know, real insight into what it's like to be a player.
Here it's Carnereed. Wants to take players on, beats Zadorsky. Now back to Cuthbert into the box. Macario can't quite turn into a shooting opportunity. And Katrina Gore's had enough and just smashed out of play.
I mean, that West Ham pivot are the only two players that I feel for. Because I think of every game I've watched, those are the two players that, oh, what a combination this is.
Can't quite turn it goal. Can't quite get the shot goalwards. That was a nice bit of play. Yawn there. Physical up against Ueki. There's too much wrong with that one, though.
Yeah. Lovely 1-2 touch football.
Now Bright.
From Macario and Wrighton, but just one pass too many, really. Macario laid it into captain, didn't really need to do that. Could have just hit it herself, I feel, you feel.
Walsh out wide to Wrighton. Now here's Sandy Baltimore. Wants to clip that in behind, but that's overhit from Baltimore.
Yeah, bit of energy now into that Chelsea your front line. Just a bit more of a buzz, moving the ball a little bit quicker. Trying to give more for the away fans to cheer about. Who are, yes, currently enduring the conditions. But I like that from West Ham. It's exactly the kind of things you should do in football. You know, put the away fans in the only stand that doesn't have a roof. You know, but things like that, yeah, that's important, that.
How's that in the Premier League, though? They started ripping roofs off certain ends.
I think it's a cracking idea. It's not allowed, I'm sure.
Ball down the line from Baltimore into Macario, who shimmies inside well, takes aim, and it's blocked. And chance to have a Cuthbert who puts the ball under pressure. West Ham get it clear. Baltimore, now Walsh. That's a strong challenge from Asai, albeit a little over the line. And it is out for a Chelsea corner. To be fair, what Chelsea do is they make sure the shed end, which is usually the away fans, is nice and toasty. Got a lovely roof on top of it, and they put them all in the shed lower and some in the shed upper, but they can't get wet. And the Matthew Harding lower, you just get drenched if it rains. Obviously, if you go further back in the Matthew Harding lower, you're fine, but
yeah,
Chelsea have the opposite.
Rule 1, don't sit in row 1 of the Matthew Harding when it rains.
Chelsea versus Arsenal, women in the rain.
You will get wet. Oh my days.
Not entirely dealt with by Shalaya Zadorsky, but it is out of play for another corner.
West Ham's having to endure a bit of a Chelsea spike. But those subs have injected a bit of energy, a bit more pace into the front line, moving the ball a little bit quicker once again.
Yeah, Macario lays it short, back to Cat Macario. Good delivery into the box. That's headed away by Ueki, and another corner. And a succession of Chelsea corners now as the Blues keep piling on the pressure.
I wonder how many corners is the record for corners in a row in football. We're up to 3 now. Go on, let's see if we can get another one. This is what happens when Chelsea are 3-0 up after 65 minutes. That's a good ball in from Wrighton, though. Not
a drop on the edge for Cuthbert, who strikes and it's blocked. It will drop now for Carnereid. And here is Cat Macario around the corner. Into Bjorn, back to Walsh. And it's Macario again. Ball in towards the penalty area. And that's touched under play by Zadorsky.
It's another corner.
Again.
Really good move from Chelsea. Recycled it well, got the ball down. And moved it quickly again. 1-2 touch football. Macario has been involved in everything since she's come on.
And a ball in towards the penalty area. Punched away by Zemic. Falls for Cuthbert up in the air. And that will go for a goal kick this time.
Yeah, I think just misread the bounce there and then got under it. Didn't have time to adjust to it once she realised that she had misjudged it.
But I think she almost tried to clip it up so someone could then nod it on. But she already just dared to hit it from there.
Very true.
Flick on, header on by Millie Bright. It drops now. West Ham midfield. Here's Ueki. Nystrom back to Tisiak. And across to Zadorsky. Ball down the line, and Ueki is miles offside.
Yeah. But you could tell that was offside before the ball had even been played. Just too eager. Bit of a quiet one for Ueki. Morgan's obviously had to drop in and be a right wing back, so she's been a lot more involved than she planned on being. Asai's had a couple of chances that she missed. Ueki just, I don't know, hasn't really got involved. She's had a couple bright, spare.
I think one of the Asai goals was Ueki breaking down the right hand side. Was a great ball. Ball across the box now, looking for Wrighton. Chance to score. Great block in there from Nystrom. It's a Chelsea corner. That's a great chance for Guro Wrighton.
Again, good football. And Guro Wrighton probably should do better. What a ball that is from Carnreid. Maybe could have taken it first
I think
time.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think it's difficult to take that first time. But, yeah, and then by the time she did that touch, it just gave time for Nystrom to get back in there. Macario over this. Poor delivery to the front post, but again, it's poked out for another corner.
Corner record. The corner numbers really starting to tick up now for Chelsea.
I just found some quite average deliveries. Poor deliveries. That's really poor. Just in towards the front post and getting up on it. Macario again. This is much better. Headed straight back to her though. Takes a touch. Delivers again. That's a good ball to a dangerous area, but no one can connect with it. And Gory now looking to take on Cuffer. That's excellent from Erin Cuff, but and now it'll drop for Millie Bright. Just headed away by West Ham, and she'll let that run for a Chelsea throw.
Not quite being able to recycle that one, Chelsea. Better from West Ham. Box defending has been better today. Second half, to be honest, they've done well. This is exactly what they should have done from minute one. And if they'd done this, then would they have hung in there for a bit longer and made a game of it? Potentially. Because even though Chelsea have taken their foot off the gas, this is, 23 minutes where West Ham have done very, very well. They've defended decently, they've cleared the ball, they've not tried to overplay it. They've done everything they should have done in the first 3 match weeks.
Yeah. Carnreid. Macario tries to get back to Carnreid, doesn't quite come off. Stanwick Stab is trying to make people paralytic, suggesting a drinking game. They're taking a shot whenever Chelsea get a corner.
I'm alright. I'll pass on that one.
G37's got a better one. Take a shot when Macario's delivery doesn't beat the first player. It's just as frequent. Ball in behind. A chance now for Phil Morgan in Acres. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. That's a great save from Hannah Hampton at point blank range. Too easy though. Chelsea switched off. Should have been punished, really.
Yeah, just too high. I mean, Morgan, the reason Morgan's on side is because she was in her own half.
It's cap time. Shifts it to Macario. Tisiak tries to stand her up. Macario beats her back across the box. Cap time, tucks it home. And it's West Ham 0, Chelsea 4. And so quick after they may have conceded, they turn it round and they find the back of the net. Excellent from Macario. Does so well here to beat Amber Tisiak. Captain's off the ball movement is once again incredible. And slots it home well. That's West Ham 0, Chelsea 4.
And not for the first time today. West Ham have an opportunity at one end. Chelsea take the ball and go finish it off at the other. Really good football. Back
It's a great initial run from Captain. Berman with the pass to find her as well. Macario does super well here to come across and link up. And then she just tells Tisiak the dummy and beats her down the line. Knocks it back across the box. And Captain pokes it home. And Chelsea find their 4th.
The reward for the substitutions. Injected pace and a bit more danger into the front line, especially Cat Macario comes on and gets an assist. Really good stuff from Chelsea, and more changes are coming.
And that's the end of Vega Captain's afternoon. A much better performance. I think fair criticism of her last week is that she struggled to get involved in the game against Leicester, but a much better performance today, involved throughout, and now replaced by Micah Hamano. Erin Cuthbert also makes way, and it's Sam Kerr on into central midfield, I assume. No, I think she may be up front.
It's just crazy.
Here's Vila Berman, who receives that ball on her chest, but she's under pressure from West Ham's usual rugby routine of a kickoff. That is a foul throw from Ueki. Chelsea come away with the ball. Walsh onto Macario. Well, Chelsea could use it because they break in behind. That's Tisiak, though, who gets in front of it. Kerr will put her under pressure. And now it's back with King Ajamek.
Bring on Sam Kerr and you're 4-0 up is just absurd behaviour. Like, how is that a situation that Chelsea find themselves in?
Hamano. Now Walsh. Wrighton. Macario. Guro Wrighton in towards the box looking for Kerr. Tisiak gets there. It's going to drop for Cat Macario. Latches one at goal. Great save from King Ajemic.
Chelsea having fun now.
Yeah, I know. They're looking for more.
They're opening up West Ham more and more.
Is this the first time that Macaro and Kerr have played together?
Maybe that was handball, so that was probably good. That Macaro goal didn't count.
I don't think anyone would have noticed.
Well,
Based on
all,
their
all
officiating,
the,
I've
all the
seen
West
this
Ham
today.
players did, but the referee didn't. Chelsea corner though. Still piling on the pressure, looking for more.
Here's Amano. Clips it towards the back post. It's overhit though. And Kerr will able to keep it in play.
Yeah, too much on it, and then Sam Kerr just lost the flight of it in the air. But Sam Kerr back up, every time he's back on the pitch now, it's just good to see. And I'm sure that first start will not be too far away, you feel, for Sam Kerr. I doubt it'll be Man United. But who have Chelsea got in their first Champions League game?
Paris FC.
That could easily be Sam Kerr's first start.
Yeah, I've got Weaver Jones in my UWSL fantasy at the moment, so I hope not. You do that. We'll set up a league for that this week. So I'm back across the box. That's saved well. Yeah, we'll have a league for that. I'll put the code out at some point. But if you're playing UWSL fantasy, look out for our league code at some point in the next few weeks.
Basically,
next week, sorry.
We've already had enough of aerial fantasy. No, we haven't.
I'm going to play the Champions League version and forget about that.
My aerial fantasy's going great.
I've captained Weaver Jones, which is okay.
That saved you because Khadija Shaw earlier was flying.
Yeah, well, I've also got Carpenter who hasn't played. So that's not great. McLaughlin who didn't bother showing up.
That's unlucky.
I think I've got a Riviere clean sheet with that.
What, Olivia McLaughlin?
No. Rachel.
Oh.
Why?
Because Olivia McLaughlin did play for Leicester.
No, I've got a Rachel McLaughlin who's great in the first 2 weeks for Brighton, and I brought her in. And
we don't want to spoil our...
Yeah, true. We'll talk about that on Tuesday's episode. To be fair, I haven't got any more points through yet, apart from my Caldentay points. So.
What a shame.
Well, she got 9 on Saturday, so that was alright.
All I'll say is Olivia Holt started, and she scored. Yeah. Who's been saying that for the last year?
Ball clip forwards. And it's Sadowski who will try and see it out, but that's out for a Chelsea throw.
West Ham were doing well, and then Chelsea got a 4, and now they've just become a little bit open again. But again, it's been how have West Ham how has Ryan Skinner not made a sub? 75 minutes into a football match, you are getting smashed. And you have smashed it, dominated, and you haven't made a change. How do you look at this 11 and go, what they're doing is still
Chelsea have made 5.
Good. Yeah. Because don't get me wrong, I don't think second half they've been much better. I don't think West Ham have been. They've looked good defensively solid, but make changes.
Brilliant from Fiona Berman to win that off of Ueki in there. Or Gory. Either way, you're on the ball.
At least the fans stay, unlike the men's West Ham team, where they've all left by the 75th minute.
Yeah, it's only because they've got to get out of the Olympic Stadium.
True.
It takes about an hour in itself.
You've got to run the 500 metres first.
That's the players.
No, sorry, yeah.
That's why West Ham had to move there, because I had so many pitch invaders at Upton Park. I had to go to a ground where it's just impossible to pitch invade. Here's Zadorsky. Now Kira Walsh to Kerr. Flicks it on to Carnareed. Back towards Sam Kerr. Cleared away. Only as far as Rico Ueki. Now Asai. Yeah, West Ham got very careful they don't have 2 championship teams next season.
Yes.
Because I think they're in trouble.
They
Baltimore. Now across to Hamano.
Look at the quality in the WSL 2 at the moment. You look at those sides, and it's whoever does finish in that second slot is going to be a difficult team to beat.
Third slot.
Yes.
It's going to be interesting because 2 teams coming into the league. Obviously, then you've got to have. There's 2 relegation spots after this season, so we could see both then go back down. 3 teams coming into the league. for next season,
it's impossible.
at least one of them's got to stay up.
Yes.
And I think it would just create a lot more. I am worried that. I think they'll be fine. I don't think we'd see this, but I am worried that it becomes Liga F, where you've got like teams at the bottom who just lose 8-0 every week, or 8-0 to Barcelona and then lose every week. I just don't think it will happen.
Especially because the side's coming through.
Sides of quality.
And they'll invest.
Yeah.
Like, if Birmingham, for example, come up, they will put the money in. Same with Sunderland or Newcastle and things like that. Those kind of teams will invest.
Yeah, at the moment, it's Birmingham top, Charlton second, Sunderland third.
Yeah. Charlton, I'll tell you, I don't think Birmingham have been a bit hit and miss, to be honest. Charlton have looked all right.
Birmingham unbeaten so far, apart from, they drew with Sunderland.
It's not bad.
Beat
They,
Bristol City 5-1 there.
they struggled yesterday, didn't they?
2-1 over Sheffield United who were bottom.
Yeah.
And should be down, shouldn't they? Because they're supposed to go down, but someone else pulled out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Or wasn't able to be promoted. Blackburn, I think, was in the league and had to drop out due to lack of funding. Ball in behind, and Chelsea now searching for the runner for Mane, won't be able to find her.
This has been Chelsea. What people wanted from Chelsea is what people have got used to seeing Chelsea do over the last couple of years. Back to normality. And maybe I'm sure a lot of fans will now be happy that Chelsea have got back to what they usually do. Beating teams convincingly and then just seeing it out.
Baltimore. Wins initial header, drops now for a side. A gamble, and it was indeed.
Yeah, been a difficult one for the referee. I think he's done alright. But yeah, it's been a lot of
Lovely
carnage.
clip from Cat-Sign on towards Baltimore. Knocked out of play by Nystrom.
Tell you what, you can always rely on one man to be up, cheering, singing in the pouring rain in Dagenham.
Just send him. Here is flags. There's Macario, ball towards the back post. Kerr can't quite meet it. And now it drops for Bjorn. Walsh. Now Bjorn. Hamano. Pass inside. Cat-Sign flip. Brighton. Onto Baltimore. Wants to take on Morgan now. Ball across the box.
Oh,
It's a flash across the box. No one can react in time.
thought someone would have got a nick, whether it was a Chelsea or a West Ham shirt.
Everkite says West Ham have created 12 shots at goal, being a player down. That's not exactly true because 3 of them were
Five of them.
before the.
I know 5 was half time.
Yeah, 3 of them were before the red card.
They've had 7 shots in the second half.
Yeah,
Really?
7 shots, 2 on target. 29% of the ball. Just broke quite well. Chelsea have limited the most occasions. The only big chance they created was the Phil Morgan one. Other than that, it's just been a plethora of pot shots.
But this is the football that Peter wanted from Chelsea. So this is the alternative. People didn't like when it was controlled, but not as many goals last weekend at 1-0.
It's still been controlled. They've limited West Ham. I mean, 12 shots, yeah, you could say that, but 2 on target.
Yeah.
It's just been shots from range. 1.8 XG because they've just had lots of shots from.
Well, they should have done a lot better. That's what I'm saying. West Ham should have done a lot better with their chances. I mean,
They had the Asai one early on, yeah. Chelsea started slow first 5 minutes.
yeah, what I'm saying, but this is the alternative. Is that Chelsea go for it? They be attacking, they score loads of goals, but they will concede more chances. That's football.
I don't think Chelsea have been attacking particularly.
Well, they more. But this is what I'm saying.
More than they have in any of the other games.
Okay.
But just complaining because the ball didn't go in the back of the net in the other games. It has in this game.
Yeah.
Here is King and Zemek. Ueki chests it down. Endo tries to play the forward pass, but done well by Baltimore. Cat-Sign beats a player looking for the forward pass into Kerr. This one back by West Ham. Here's Zemek. Martinez lays it out to the left-hand side. Denton wants to cut inside. Now to Martinez. And Chelsea will look to break away. Barner reads. Brighton wants to put it in behind, but can't. Zato says, so many Japanese players in the NWSL and WSL, do they not have a league in Japan? They do, it's just not as coveted. They don't have as much money. So they all want to come and play in the best leagues. It's pretty natural.
Yeah, it's become like at the moment, it's not become, but at the moment it's more like a feeder league where players come through, they show their quality, and then through those good performances, they earn themselves moves through to the top leagues.
Yeah.
Eventually, obviously, they'll develop so many good players that they won't all leave, and then, as you say, it will become a good league. But as a league that has only really just, it's done well. It's grown massively already, from the players that they've been selling.
Yeah, there's a whole story behind Japan, but 20 years ago they decided to really focus on football. They developed the J League, and that they improved the systems behind the leagues. They improved the coaching. Across all levels, and they've developed incredible players. That's a good ball from Arno. Kerr couldn't quite get there, but it's why we see now the Japanese women's team's always been really good, but now with heightened investment, we're seeing a lot more players move across the WSL. That's why we're seeing the Japanese men's team become really good. But they decided to put a lot more money and effort into football, and it's working out really nicely. The J League is incredibly profitable. They've done really well to market that to an international audience, and it's why. They've brought in a lot more money, and it's a very technically gifted league. I'm not sure on the Japanese women's league. I haven't watched much of it, but they put a lot of money into football, and that's why now there's a lot of talented players.
Yeah.
And rather than you look at other countries that try and buy their way into football, the likes of Saudi Arabia, they just pump millions and millions in and buy loads of players from elsewhere. It's not going to make the Saudi players any good if they show up and they just get smashed by a bunch of players that are on £3 million a week. Doesn't improve them. Now, if they keep I know they've got endless money, so it's a bit different to China, but maybe if they keep doing that for 50 years, they'll get close. Here's Macario, takes save, strikes the bar. Now Sunday Baltimore wants to beat Endo. It's blocked out for a throw.
Couldn't quite burst away there, Baltimore, but really good stuff again from Chelsea coming down the right-hand side. Brought forward, really good ball in. Kerr's shot deflected, fell to Macario, who rattled the crossbar.
Yeah.
Macario could have easily had a goal since she's come on. Looked really bright. Got the assist. Got the assist for the captain goal. And has had some opportunities herself. Another Chelsea corner. Looking to add a fifth with 5 minutes to play. Maybe it's the kit. The classic,
Does look mint. I need to get that.
That's brilliant. I love it. Such a nice Chelsea shirt.
When the YouTube paycheck hits when you see me in that shirt. That's right, your hard-earned money goes towards my football shirt collection. No, only joking. Kerr, back across the box. Baltimore! Oh, that's wide.
Should have done better with that one. Tried too hard, really, to place it into the bottom corner.
Yeah.
Great ball from Wrighton towards the back post. Kerr smartly heads it back across goal. Baltimore just tries, as I said, to too hard to place it. Just need to put it on the target, really.
Yeah. 5 minutes to go then. West Ham looking to send this forward. Header one in there by Cuthbert. Ball bouncing around. Martinez heads on, and it's going to fall to Endo now with the overlapping run. Puts the ball in towards the box. It's blocked inadvertently by Una Siren, and now Chelsea will look to break, and it's Hamano on the ball. Players to the left and right. Here's Sam Kerr, does really well to take that in her stride. Kerr bursting on goal, dragged down by Nystrom, but she does well to still get the shot away. Took it a little bit too wide there, Kerr, though. Now Baltimore, ball in. Wrighton tries a little flick on. That wasn't going to work.
Great, but again, really good football from Chelsea. They turn it over. Play Sam Kerr through, who was forced wide by Nystrom. And a good save from Shemek with her feet.
Kerr should have done better. They got to continue across Nystrom. She either brings her down or she lets her go.
Yeah.
And then she's in on goal. But Drac takes herself a little wide. Can't quite supply the finish. Amano flicks on. Macaro can't quite get that. Drops in midfield. Now Baltimore heads it down to Walsh. She will try and slot it through the lines. That's a good challenge from Tisiak. Ueki trying to carry that ball forwards. Walsh strong against her. Now Siren knocks it back to Ueki. Who goes to Nystrom. Zadorsky down the line. Denton tries to turn Carnreed, but can't manage it.
Yeah, it's been a difficult game for the wing backs. I mean, obviously, started with Baluma getting sent off. Denton obviously started on the right, then moved to the left, and has kind of just been sat too deep to impact forwards. And I thought Morgan did well when she was on the pitch, playing as that right wing back.
Yeah, Alex asks, Jack Maresca getting sacked this season? Hopefully not. I think it's insane at this point to call for him to be sacked. I know Chelsea fans who are, but there you go. Aaron Cupper has been awarded the BBC Player of the Match. Ueki ball across the box. That runs through. That's a nice time to do our Player of the Match. If you're watching along, give us your thoughts. 128 people watching, so I hope to see 128 names in the live chat. Get them in there. Who do you think deserves Player of the Match? We want to hear from you guys. Harry, who's your Player of the Match?
That's a really tough question that I haven't thought about.
Do you want to make some more noises to stall a little?
Yeah.
Here's Sam Kerr, lovely hold up. And she's brought down in there by Una Siren.
I'm really struggling. It's hard to name one. I think it's overall been a really good performance from Chelsea. I don't think one player has really stood out. I mean, yeah, you'd probably give it to Cuthbert or...
I've got one.
Okay, do you want to give yours?
Yeah, my player of the match is Vika Kaptai. I thought she was excellent. Goal and assist today. I thought she was instrumental in our play, and I think especially coming off of what was a really poor performance against Leicester and a lot of criticism, I thought she was really strong and provided an outlet for Chelsea today. I think she looked really good on both sides of the ball, and yeah, I thought she was a very good performance from Vika Kaptai. And people questioning, oh, what does she do? Watch this game. Excellent.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thank you for agreeing with me.
Yeah, I'd Beaver Jones or Cuthbert, I'd say. Boring. Cause
Oliver going for Carnreed. Eva Carty saying Alyssa Thompson's ponytail. But to be fair, I think Chelsea looked better when West Ham had 11 on the pitch. Shot from range from Martinez. That's going straight down the tunnel, but there's a West Ham man there on hand to block it.
Why is the tunnel there? Also, that isn't...
Welcome to Dagenham.
But they've got two tunnels, because that's not the tunnel the players are using.
Is it not?
No.
What it was? Zaja says it's hard to pick one.
It is hard to pick one. Yeah, it is a tunnel.
I mean, lots of players were very good. I thought Kaptai was standout. Ueki off, Vandala on for West Ham. Another change from Skinner. Hully's going for Erin Cuthbert. I feel like Cuthbert's the easy answer when she scored in a game. Obviously that helps, but in most games, if Chelsea win and lots of different scorers have happened, there's not really been one that's got two. It goes to Cuthbert because she's always good, always works hard. What's that?
Why is the tunnel there?
It's Dagenham, mate.
I'm still so confused. Like, obviously, in the middle, normal. Corner tunnels, they're less common now, but obviously you still see them. You know, Old Trafford, Portman Road, grounds like that. Fulham, you come through the car park and you walk out. But Crystal Palace, another one. But why is it behind the goal?
I reckon they use local builders and a local designer. That's where they went wrong.
Fair enough. Yeah.
To be fair, Colchester got their tunnel in the right place, so they must have got someone from outside.
Yeah.
Great interception there from Fittler Berman. Oliver says it's great that goals were shared, just shows the quality of the team. Yeah, exactly. And Chelsea did this loads last season, over the last few years, where they don't rely on one player. It means they're more. It means in different games, different players step up, and it's not like they're going, well, we need our Khadija Shaw to score, if not we lose. I think City this season are looking to be less reliant on Khadija Shaw than they ever were under Gareth Taylor, where if Shaw didn't score, well, Shaw or like Hemp, Fowler stepped up a bit as well, but they relied on a handful of players and usually Khadija Shaw to score goals.
But now they don't do that, do they? They just other people can score goals.
They do let other players have a go. Yeah, I think United were a little bit one-dimensional. They've also become better now. They're getting other players in the goals. I think Arsenal have become better at it as well.
Yes, yeah. They still drop points to teams in claret and blue, though, don't they?
Well, it's quite interesting because Chelsea and Arsenal by next week would have played very similar teams. They both played Villa, both played West Ham. They'd have both played City. The difference would be Arsenal played United
and Chelsea
played Leicester.
Chelsea would have played United.
Oh yeah, sorry, Chelsea would play United as well. So we get a good understanding. The difference is Arsenal. Who did Arsenal play? Not Leicester.
Ooh.
Did Arsenal play to? I can't remember.
No.
London City.
London City,
London
yeah.
City. Yeah. So we'll have a good gauge.
Yeah, true.
From Magyara, as I can say. So if you consider Leicester and London City as similar levels of opponents, that is full time. It's West Ham 0, Chelsea 4. Impressive performance from the Blues today. And almost a 5-star showing. But 4 goals all day. Ruthless in front of goal. But yeah, if you consider that Leicester and London City are similar levels, it's fairly negligible. Then you will have a good understanding next week of Chelsea and Arsenal's performance against the very similar opponents.
Yes, that is true.
And at the moment, Chelsea have a lead of 5 points to Arsenal. Chelsea sit top of the league, 2 points above Manchester United, 3 points above Man City, 3 points ahead of Tottenham, who are ahead of Arsenal on 8.
Where are Arsenal?
5th.
Oh my days.
And that's Brighton on 6 points. On 7 points, are in 6th.
So City have already jumped Arsenal.
I think we're already starting to see the top and bottom half emerge. I think Aston Villa will do better because they've had a really tough fixture list.
Yeah.
They'll push up into the top half. And Tottenham, when they play more difficult fixtures, will drop into the bottom half. But other than that, I sort of expect the league to look very similar to this, where you've got Chelsea, United, City, not in this order, by the way, but Chelsea, United, City, Tottenham, Arsenal, Brighton. I swapped Tottenham for Villa. And then Everton, Leicester, London City, Villa, but I swapped for Tottenham, and Liverpool, West Ham. But yeah, obviously I'd expect Tottenham to be 7th, probably. In a few weeks' time when they've had a couple more difficult fixtures. But yeah.
Do you think Rayan Skinner's going to lose her job?
Not yet. Who have they got next week?
It's got to be someone nice.
Villa.
Oh,
really nice.
That's not nice.
It's at least nice.
That is not
of
nice.
The nice fixtures they could have got. But yeah, they've had a horrible start to the season, West Ham. But they've played 3 really good teams in Brighton, Chelsea and Arsenal. The bigger problem will be the manner of the defeats.
Yeah.
Because it's been particularly abysmal. But Tottenham as well, a loss. That's again, it could have gone either way. And if they'd won that, would we be talking about them in the same light? Probably not. But the fact they did lose that due to a penalty, the fact that they've conceded 5, 4 and 4 goals. And yeah, it's concerning. Villa will be a tough one. I think they'll probably lose that again, and again we'll have the same conversation next week. Yeah. But if they beat London City, they've got a run in November of Leicester and then Everton. The problem for West Ham is that I just don't see they beat. Like the games against Leicester, Everton, London City, and Liverpool are the most important right this season. But I just don't see them. It depends. I mean, maybe they could get a lot better in the next few weeks, but they've been so poor to start this season. I struggle to see how they beat teams like that.
The thing for me is that we were in this exact same position last season. West Ham were bottom of the league after a few matches. We were, I'm not saying we're going to be wrong, but Pittle was saying that Rayan Skinner's probably in trouble. She's probably going to lose her job. And then from absolutely nowhere, they turned it around. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. They'll probably beat Villa next week and just compound the misery that Aston Villa have going on over there because they, again, today, what happened today? They didn't play today. Good point, yeah, actually, that's not misery. They drew yesterday. That was a good
First
point.
half of the season last year, the only teams they beat, they had a draw with Everton, they beat Leicester, and they beat Palace.
Wow.
The second half of the season, the only teams they beat were Everton, Brighton, Tottenham, and Palace. But they had draws and they were Chelsea. They had draws and they were City and United.
So that's the difference.
But what I'm trying to demonstrate is that if they can win the games that they need to win against the Evertons and then maybe nick something against a Tottenham or a Villa, then they should be okay. Because I think teams like Leicester will probably do worse.
Yeah.
and possibly Everton at the moment because they don't look 100%. But yeah, I mean, it's so early in the season.
It
but
is.
It is. Yeah. We'll do in 2 weeks' time, once we've had 6 games. I think we'll have a more realistic understanding of where everyone lies. I think next weekend's really important for everywhere in the league because obviously we've got top of the table clashes. But because we've got top of the table clashes, it means that Sunday is really a day of watching all of the other teams. It's so important for those teams. Leicester face Everton.
Wow.
They both need a win. London City, Liverpool both need a win. Tottenham play Brighton. They're both fine, actually, but that's going to be a really good game of football.
Tottenham might not be fine after it. But
They're on 9 points. They're 4th in the league. And they've got a neutral goal difference because they conceded so many to City and have won every other game 1-0, or by 1 goal margin. And then West Ham play Villa, and they both need wins.
They do both need wins.
So I think next weekend's going to be really interesting. Can't wait. But that is the end of game week 4 of the 25-26 WSL season. It's been very exciting. We're back with a roundup on Tuesday, and then obviously usual content throughout this week. We've got Champions League predictions coming this week ahead of the Champions League starting next midweek. So yeah, we've got so much good football on the horizon. We've got a big weekend of games next weekend, and we've got Champions League football in the 2 weeks after that. So I can't wait personally. That though is everything from us today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.